Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Your day of cuckold glory is here, my sire.
Today's the day.
Welcome to the Half-Assed Morning Show. All hail the cuck king.
All hail!
You know, I have some support today.
Tonight, my king.
Tonight, hear ye, hear ye.
Yes.
I have a cuckold jester who's going to join me, bringing a face-mounted sex toy to do some stuff in front of me that I have to watch, I guess. That's kind of the thought of this cuckold deal.
A what? He's wearing a what?
A facial-mounted strap-on dildo.
This is your cuck jester.
My cuck, yes. He volunteered to be the cuck jester to show some support, so I'm not sitting there by myself.
Well, you wouldn't be by yourself. You'd be surrounded by the people.
I hope so.
What do they call it in the king business?
What do they call
Not your crowd. I've heard it before in the television shows. You're not citizens, but...
Jeez, it's right there.
Tonight, my king,
stupid.
you shall ride upon the mighty St. Croix. Tonight, you sit upon your cuck throne, and you watch. You were born and bred to watch by the gods themselves. May the cuck king live forever.
Yeah, people are saying peasants. It's not peasants. It's more of a respectful word.
It is more of a respectful word.
Subjects.
That's it. Your friggin' subjects.
Yeah.
You'll be surrounded by your subjects.
Thank you.
You should never feel alone on the cuck throne. My God, you're the cuck king.
Well, the cuck thing is you are kind of alone, right? The idea is you're sitting in a corner masturbating while somebody plows your wife right in front of you?
Yes.
If you haven't been listening to this here radio show lately or ever before, you're wildly confused by this nonsense.
I'm a little taken back as well, to be honest with you.
Taken aback by?
Well, I laughed at a cuck joke quite heartily, and then I became the cuck king.
Yeah, you've...
I'm not in a cuckold relationship or anything like that, but I appreciate the humor.
This has been bittersweet for Josh. You really loved the bit, and then when you became the focus of the bit, you're not so excited about it anymore.
Things changed, and then when I was isolated to a chair on an event I've been looking forward to, wearing a ridiculous outfit, things changed a little bit for me.
Heavy lies the crown, Cubby.
True.
Heavy lies the crown.
And they say the best kings are the ones that don't want to be king.
Right. These are the sacrifices you have to make as king of the cucks.
If it makes you feel better, I'll basically be doing the same thing the whole time, just not dressed up.
Yeah, she can't move.
Yeah, I'll be sitting in one chair and one chair only.
Will you hang by me?
Yeah, absolutely.
All we're saying here is that we're very excited, not only for our ultimate F-off week to wrap up today, here in a little over 3 hours, but tonight is our Independence Day boat party out on the St. Croix. Josh will be playing the role of the cuck king, whether he likes it or not. With the cuck throne, he's got a cuck crown, cuck scepter, a cuck cloak or robe.
Cloak.
If you don't know the bit, it's too long of a story to go into at this point. Big party tonight. And we still have your shot to join us if you stay tuned in to this year program today.
Supposed to be a pretty nice night.
The weather?
Yeah.
Supposed to be pretty nice?
Yeah, kind of low 70s. No rain as far as I could see, unless that's changed in the last 12 hours or so.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
right.
Yeah, because I had people telling me yesterday, it's going to be miserable. But you're right. We got an email today from our promotions director saying, nope, it's going to be good.
We'll be all right. Thank you to Stillwater Riverboats, Red Wing Shoes, Warner's Dock. Thanks to those folks for helping us out on this. Let's go over some rules. You got to be 21 bring money for drinks. Drinks aren't free. Don't act like a dick. Get there early. Boat leaves 7 o'clock on the nuts. We wait for no mortal man at least.
They request you're there no later than 6:30. Like, as late as 6:30 would be if that's the only time you can make it. Otherwise, they'd rather get you there a little before 6.
Let's see what else is there. Don't act like a dick. I think I covered that. Don't tell the DJ to turn the music up. The music's loud enough.
It's actually too loud.
It's been too loud.
It's too much. You can't have a conversation up top.
It's overwhelming at times.
To the point where I wonder, now the DJ, if it's the same guy, awesome dude, really cool guy, but I wonder if he's hard of hearing. Or maybe he doesn't realize the speakers are past him and he doesn't get how loud it is.
A lot of yous like to buy us drinks, and don't get me wrong, that's a wonderful gesture, but I'll get plenty of beer to drink. So I ask this, and the Cuck King, maybe you can demand this. In lieu of buying us drinks, keep going up to the DJ and telling him to turn it down a little bit. Yeah. If you think about, hey, maybe maybe Dana needs a drink. Instead of buying Dana a drink, go tell the DJ to turn it down a little bit. It's a little loud.
It is a little loud sometimes.
Yeah, if there's going to be shots, take shots at the DJ for playing the music too loud. Turn that crap down.
People ask me every single year if you can smoke weed on the boat. You can't.
Don't be smoking marijuana on the boat.
Stop smoking weed.
Be nice to the staff on the boat. Any offense made to the boat staff, we consider the same as an offense made to the king.
Mm-hmm. And no one disrespects the king.
Box Tossing Jesus wants to know, and this is going back to a fun story, at least for me and Nick. Can I give you guys cash? Because I know you don't make very much money in radio.
Yep.
Sure.
And, basically, the gist is, it was one of our early booze cruises. Some guy came up, pulled out just a fat stack of 20s. I mean, really a huge roll, and kind of very condescendingly. What's the word?
Condescending.
Yeah, condescendingly.
Yeah, you had it right.
He threw $40 at me and Nick. And here you go. I know you guys don't make much money. I mean, that was kind of his thing, and we both kind of laughed.
He turned and walked away.
We're like, hey, no, well, you take it, and he walked away. Kind of like, hey, I'm the man, I got this cash. Well, we've told this story many, many times about this boat.
How disgusted we were, how we hated this man.
I mean, I thought it was kind of funny, but I thought, what a douche. It was a douchey thing.
It was really douchey.
And you know what hurt the most? He was right. He was right. But
I could have used that $40.
Yeah, I mean, that went to bills, not entertainment. But many, many years later, I mean, maybe 10 years later.
Oh, more than that.
Was it more?
More than that. Probably closer to 20 years later.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so It was a long time, certainly. Mm-hmm. He called us and apologized. And I thought, what a sweet guy. He even realized, boy, that was douchey. And I know I've been in spots where I felt like, I bet I represented myself poorly there. That might have seemed kind of douchey and I didn't mean it to be. And it sounds like that was the case there. And I thought that was so cool he called back.
He heard us light him up. Year after year. Every year this time, we would light this guy up on the radio and talk about how disgusting and douchey he was.
And the guilt just kept building.
And he finally called us and apologized. And he said, look, I was young, too, all those years ago. And I had my head up my ass. I'm an older man now, and I realize how inappropriate that was. It did mean quite a bit to us to get that apology.
Yeah. And honestly, I pretty much melted that he was thinking about it all those. I felt bad that he, felt that way all those years. He kind of at the time seemed like a dude that would love the fact that was him, but what a good guy.
Have fun tonight, everyone who's joining us. Relax and have fun. And then, by God, we're off next week to celebrate Independence Day.
Oh, I always forget about that part, and it hits me once we're done with the booze cruise. I'm like, oh, shoot. Look at that. No work next week.
We don't have to come to work next week, Ashley.
That feels good.
It's Independence Day next week, and we're going to celebrate it. We'll be back in July sometime. All in all, as far as tonight goes, we want to thank everyone for taking an interest in the damn thing. We thank you for your support. We'd have no chance to throw a party like this without you. No listeners, no party. So word life, and we'll see some of you tonight. As much as Josh is hoping that maybe somehow it gets canceled tonight.
No, what I would really more appreciate is if people forgot about the cuck thing. But I'm a good sport. I'll sit there. I'll do it. I've decided I'm never laughing. Oh, dang, I already done it this morning. From this point on, I'm never laughing at anything you guys ever say again. Because I found out it gets me in some trouble. But no, it'll be fun. And
this isn't trouble. This is fun.
And I want to apologize to those who haven't won. I mean, it's one of those things where I think, folks, if you've been listening a long time, you know I would hand them out to everybody. There was one kind of infamous year around here, and I still get crap for it. I got in trouble. I handed so many out from some miscommunication, so I do feel bad.
You want to apologize, personally apologize to every single person who hasn't won tickets to the boat.
Who is interested and hasn't won. You know, because it means so much to us that you'd want. I mean, shoot, for a lot of us, Stillwater's a hike, you know, and you're doing it on a Friday night.
Oh, for God's sake, Stillwater, they move it further and further away every year.
Seriously.
You might be working all day long, and you still want to come to this thing. And so, I mean, I wish we had a couple boats we could just all walk between, just so everybody could go that wanted to go.
And,
you know, there's always a
wonderful guy.
Mm-hmm. There's always a couple people that they won somehow from, you know, I don't even know how, or they're a client or whatever, and they just, you can tell they're there because they have to be versus they want to be. Remember there's like a super old group of folks that wanted nothing to do with it playing cribbage on the main floor one year?
Good for them.
How did that happen?
I'm trying to figure out.
Cribbage.
So, yeah, we've seen examples of this before where people won tickets to the boat and really had no idea what they were getting themselves into, but they showed up anyway.
That's weird.
It's like the draw of something for free was so much, so they just committed themselves to it without knowing a day. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and I know you don't. You're not an air conditioning fan. I am, and so a lot of times, I mean, I'll be in the air conditioning on a hot day. So I was in there with these folks pretty much the whole time on the same floor, and they looked miserable.
Well, then why did they walk on the boat?
That's what we were all wondering. Like, why did you guys? I mean, all they did.
Well, it's free. I guess we got to go. I don't understand that logic.
When there used to be a lot more bar gigs around here, they'd give them out there.
Yes,
and so I think that's it. They went to a bar that maybe wouldn't normally be like a 93X bar, for lack of a better way to put it.
Sure, that all makes sense.
And they want something for free.
That all makes sense. You know, like Josh said, we had lots and lots of bar gigs back in the day where you'd blow out, 10 4-packs to jump on our boat. Mm-hmm. But I can't, and so sure, you're going to get some people who were trying to win, and you're going to get some people who had no idea who you were. They're just there to have dinner. But what I don't understand is you and your wife got in your car and drove all the way to Stillwater, and you had no idea what the event was all about. Never once in that car ride did the wife turn to the husband and say, "Do we know what we're doing here?" And I don't know. It's free. We'll just.
Yeah, there was one lady in particular that looked just disgusted.
I can't put two and two together on that. It's free. We have to go. Be careful. Don't lose anything off the side of the boat. Don't drop your keys or your wallet off the side of the boat, because it's never coming back. You ever had that happen? Dump something in the lake?
I haven't, but
or the river?
I've had to pay for a couple cell phones from my daughter, who, for whatever reason, has the slipperiest phone in the world while inner tubing on a river somewhere. So we've got one on the Apple River, and then one, I forgot there was another river she was on, just floating at the bottom somewhere.
Got her phone on her while floating down a river?
Yeah.
Man, that's playing with fire.
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of jewelry. Like bracelets, necklaces, simple things like that.
In the fish house, it was always fun to see who could slam dunk their wallet or their car keys down the hole.
Oh, that is such a scary feeling when it hits the ice and you're like, scrambling to grab it.
It was never me. It's never me. Car keys to the bottom of the lake. Oh, man. One time, we were 5.5 hours up north. Dude bends over the side of the boat to, I don't know, he's got a snag or something, right? We're trolling. He's got a snag. Where the hell is my line? Got his car keys in his shirt pocket. Plump into the water. His sister had to drive 5.5 hours to get him a spare set of keys so he could bring the vehicle back home.
No.
Careful with your valuables.
My favorite story of a buddy losing a phone in the water. We were on the pontoon. It was like, I think it was a 4th of July weekend. and he was in a fight with his girlfriend or something. He's just sitting there furiously texting while we're drinking beers, having fun. We're like, dude, like we're busting his balls just relentlessly. And then finally he gets fed up and he stands up and he just throws the cell phone as far as he can into the middle of the lake.
He threw his own phone?
Yeah.
Why?
He was angry. And he was angry at us for busting his balls. So, like, that was his way of, like, redeeming himself.
He was angry at you guys.
Yeah.
He wasn't angry at the messages.
No. He just chucked it right in the middle of the lake. How was that?
Well, what the hell? Proved you guys wrong, huh?
What's it like to have disposable income?
He didn't have disposable income.
What an idiot.
Got you guys to shut up, didn't he? No reason to give me any grief now. I just threw my phone into the water.
Oh, geez, Jesus said, my mother told me there's ghosts along the St. Croix River.
Ooh.
And if you wave at one, it'll follow you home and push you down your stairs. Have fun, he says.
What in the world?
I got to hear more on that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Is that a joke? That's very interesting. Ghosts along the St. Croix. Well, I'll tell you that. What else is going on? Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will be here a little bit later. Yeah, I was just reading an article about things that people have lost in the water. Valuables, this and that people have lost into a lake or a river. The way they put it here is things people have accidentally sacrificed to the lake gods. Wow, this sounds like a fancy party. Someone lost an entire rotisserie chicken.
Oh, that'd be sad.
One of those, I imagined it's one of those rotisserie chickens that you can get from, like, Cub.
Yeah.
Well, what other types
like
are
13.
they?
I don't know, like make your own.
Oh.
I don't know if they got a grill on there. They're making their own rotisserie chicken.
I didn't know there was anybody who would make their own. I imagine.
We just started getting one of those every week just a few weeks ago. My wife brought one home, and boy, has that been a hit.
Those are a steal, and they're so good.
Wildly overrated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we get the Sam's Club one. It's like $5.
It's just all greasy and it's gone in 5 minutes. I don't understand the draw. Anyway, this must have been one hell of a fancy party that you got full rotisserie chickens on a boat. Apparently it slid off a plate and landed in the water and she was gone. Oh, man. If I was a fish, though, I would probably look at that as a delicacy. Mm-hmm. Not as a human being. They lost Grandma's ashes into the lake.
No.
I mean, that's not where she wanted them. You see what I'm saying? Some folks do like that. Grandma did not want her ashes in the lake, but they dropped them in the lake.
Well, there you go, Grandma. Sorry.
Sucks to be you, Grandma. Dad, and you're at the bottom of the lake. A Bluetooth butt plug ended up in the water.
Oh. I thought you were going to say a speaker. That took a turn.
I wonder if that's common for people that wear those kind of things, forgetting about them when you go swimming and stuff.
I don't think I'd call that common.
We hear a lot about people like forgetting they're in. And I just don't understand how you can forget something like that.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I guess, if it's your everyday thing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would ever use the word common for that, but someone lost their Bluetooth butt plug in the lake, and they said that lake holds some secrets now. That lake could tell you a story. Driver's licenses, debit cards, Grandma's wig. Well, grandmas aren't having a lot of luck. Dude says he was holding his grandmother's wig so she could go tubing, and then he dropped it into the lake. Would you want to watch your grandma go tubing?
No.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
No.
Go pretty slow on that one.
I bet neither of my grandmas have ever tubed when they were alive.
I don't think there's ever been a grandma who tubed.
No.
Not yet. Someone dropped their bottle of lube into the water.
What the hell are they doing?
Well, you go out there to bump. And sometimes you want to go backyard skis.
Well, I guess I'm still picturing tube. So they're probably on a boat at that point versus a tube.
Oh, that would be tough to have sex on the tube.
Yeah. Boats, tubes, whatever. There's all kinds of different vessels. What do you call those things these days? Wave runners? Is that what they're called these days? I still call them
watercraft. I always call them wave runners, but personal watercraft.
I still say jet ski, and people
too.
chuckle at me. At one point or another, I was the best in the business on one of those jet skis.
More anxiety than hair Jesus. Yes, I forgot about this. Last summer, last booze cruise, there were a few people that thought pirates were boarding the boat. There's some folks freaking out because, they have the they'll have a beer resupply if needed. So they'll have a boat come out to our big boat, and then they're bringing more beer if it's necessary. It hasn't been every year they've needed it, but certainly some years. And I know there's some people freaking out like, oh, my God, these guys are boarding. Like, somebody get some security over there.
Freaking hijack.
And so we had to explain, no, it's all good. Look, they're carrying cases of beer onto the boat. They're not taking anything off the boat. It's not St. Croix Pirates.
That was really fun to watch.
That'd be a cool.
You saw that, too?
Yes, I liked watching them do their thing.
That'd be a cool gig.
Yeah, I know.
You're
right?
just sitting on shore waiting for the telephone to ring, and if it does, you got to throw 6-8 cases of Steve Weisers into a little fishing boat and run it out to the.
Yeah, I always thought being one of those pizza delivery guys on a lake somewhere would be fun. For ice fishermen.
Oh yeah.
When you're just jumping on a snowmobile and heading out to a shack somewhere and handing a bunch of pizzas off.
Sure. My donuts. God dang. What song? Sweet Home Alabama. What band? Lynyrd Skynyrd. Here's a guy who dropped his bag of powdered donuts into the lake. He said they dissolved like dreams in a rainstorm.
Oh, I bet that did look yucky.
Vapes go into the water a lot these days.
Never had that happen, actually. Probably because I've always held on to my vape tighter than any other thing I own. Like, I would drop my phone or my wallet somewhere before my vape, I'm pretty sure.
What about your baby, when your baby comes out?
Baby will have to come first.
You sound so disappointed about that.
Thank God, because I wasn't sure how you're going to answer that.
Some dude lost his sweet Oakleys in the lake. Oh, dude, my Oakleys.
Oh, those are pricey.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen that happen
Are
before.
they still? I don't see them. I thought it was all about pit vipers at this point.
Oh, yeah, I don't really like the vibe those bring to the table.
I don't see Oakleys as much, but I also am indoors quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Lost his Oakleys. Oh, no. My retainer.
I've lost so many of those.
I took it out to eat some chips, and I placed it on a seat cushion, and I lost my retainer.
Ew, put it on a seat cushion? Just some slimy retainer?
Somebody's butt was there.
Yeah, it's just butt juice.
I'm more worried about me having to sit there after the retainer. Gross mouth stuff.
Ooh, somebody brought chips. I'll try some. Can we take out my retainer? Oh, no. These chips are good, though.
I thought those. Well, what am I talking about? Because there's a lot of. I remember a lot of lunch monitors helping kids out in school. Sitting on a tray, ends up in the garbage.
Dumpster diving.
Well, I've told you guys this before. You know, my parents weren't much for. How should I say this, Josh? My parents weren't much for taking care of their children.
Sure.
Yeah. That wasn't a top priority for them to make sure we were okay. You know, taken care of, fed, educated, healthy.
Oh, I'm glad you brought up the parents that weren't necessarily the most attentive. Your parents were definitely not helicopter parents.
No, they
Unless
barely
you're taking that helicopter elsewhere.
If the
to bar.
helicopter was 400 or 500 miles away.
Yeah, if it was going to the Legion somewhere,
Yeah.
maybe that's what they'd be. There's a show called Underdogs. Maybe you guys have heard of this. It's on Disney Plus and Hulu. And it's like a Nat Geo type thing, right, where it's all nature. And it's narrated by Ryan Reynolds, who is very clever and funny in this. And each episode has like a different theme. And one of them is animals that are horrible parents.
Animals.
Yeah,
Oh.
and all the humor is certainly dirty, and it's, obviously it's made for kids and parents. So, I mean, you parent how you want. I would say it's more of maybe a middle school style humor, but it's very entertaining, I think. I like those nature shows, and Ryan Reynolds does a great job. The production on it's good.
Do you remember any of the animals off the top of your head that are just awful?
Awful, yeah. I think there were geese.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't want to give away too much. I do want to give away a couple things, but geese were pretty bad. And there was a couple that might trick you a little bit. Anyways, I thought it was entertaining if you're looking something. Ashley especially, I think you'd love it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Dirty humor mixed with adorable animals?
Yeah, and it's underdogs. So they talk about, like, lions, yeah, they're awesome. Everybody does lions. They do all these cool ones, but it's like slugs and different stuff that aren't necessarily the heroes, but they talk about some kind of cool things about these losers, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, back to my folks real quick, and we were talking about retainers. All of us Borns came out the chute with mangled teeth. Chiclets were not our specialty. You know what I mean? All the chiclets were pointing in different directions, including my brother. Now, as you can see by looking at me, I needed braces. But did I get any treatment? No. But my brother did.
That is so messed up, man.
So my brother got a retainer, but this is how my folks operated. One day, like Josh was saying, he accidentally tossed it into the trash at lunch in junior high. He left the retainer on his lunch tray, threw the lunch tray into the trash can. Oh, no, my retainer. He went home and said, Mom, Dad, I tossed my retainer. And they said, well, sucks to be you. And he said, but my teeth, and can't I just get another? No, you had your shot. They did the same thing with glasses. When my brother was like a kindergartner, he couldn't see. He still can't see, but he won't get glasses. When he was a kid, he said, I can't see. They got him some glasses. He lost them. And then he went home and said, I lost my glasses. They said, well, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
that one is crazy.
Hey, we tried. Our job's done, man.
A kindergartner.
Yeah. Hey, have fun in school for the rest of your life, not being able to see or learn.
Ask my brother tonight when you see him on the boat, because he's coming on the boat. His kindergarten picture, he's got these big, fat, stupid glasses. Every other picture, no glasses. Because my folks said, hey, you had your shot.
Oh.
You blew it.
Yeah, I had to wait until I could pay for braces on my own. And so right when I turned 21, I got braces. And that's exactly when you want to get braces, right? When you're going out to the bars for the first time.
By the time I met you, you didn't have them, did you? Oh, you must have.
Yeah, I was here.
I don't remember you being a brace face.
Yeah, I was a brace face.
Huh.
I had them on, I think, about 2 years. And, so I got the clear ones, which were kind of worse.
No, they definitely were. I had the clear ones too, Josh.
Yeah, meaning like your teeth always looked like something was going on.
Right.
They were really dirty or something.
Stuck on his teeth there?
Yeah. They looked, kind of blurry and weird.
Oh, and one of the best parts, I guess, honestly, probably the only good thing about me having braces was being able to change that color every single appointment. You could pick whatever color. There was like hundreds you could choose from. That was the only upside. You guys didn't even have that.
No, and in middle school, like everybody's got them. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't have been a big deal. But yeah, I had them when I was 21.
Hey, good for you for doing it eventually, though, Josh.
I had to do something. Yeah, so, boy, that's not cheap. It's not cheap. My son's in braces right now. I shouldn't even call it. It's not fair because they've got Invisalign at this point. Same price as braces.
So you can't even tell.
Same price now, wow.
Yeah, my daughter had they had both options, but Invisalign was ridiculous. It's like twice as much. Now it's the exact same. And so you don't even know he's got them on.
It's not fair.
Lucky prick.
I request an audience from my king, the Cuck King.
Yes, my disciple.
What did we decide that the king's people were called?
Subjects.
Subjects. Cuck King.
Yes.
Would you be so kind to listen to advice from one of your loyal subjects?
Of course. I'm wide open to ideas.
On tonight being your first official appearance as the Cuck King on our boat party with the throne and the crown and the scepter. If you would take advice from one of your subjects, all I can say to you is this. Ask for thyself another kingdom, for that which I leave you is too small.
It's beautiful.
What song, Alexander the Great, what band, Iron Maiden, what record, caught somewhere in time, what year, 1986?
Dana, would you be willing to kiss the ring? And answer the question before I tell you which ring it is.
I would be honored to be involved with the Cuck King in any way possible.
That's fantastic. Then you will be kissing the ring this evening.
Before we get to all that, partying tonight, we got a radio show to get through, and when we return here in a few minutes, we'll dive into the always entertaining stupid news. So we'll be right back here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Expert entrepreneur Ed Milet is on a mission to max out your life.
We're throwing open the metaphorical closet doors of our lives. We're going to be cleaning out the closet. What no longer fits? Audit some of your relationships. How about auditing your emotions? Maybe it's your career you need to look at. Get your life together for this season.
The Ed Milet Show.
It's time for a little cleaning of the soul. Let's get a little ruthless, a little refreshing, and a little real. God bless you, everyone.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, the Half-Assed Morning Show Cuck Cruise happens tonight. Keep listening, and you might be one of the lucky pukes that gets to climb aboard. We had a little conversation a few minutes ago about the Cuck Cruise, and we got around to talking about losing valuables over the side of the boat. Not specifically our boat, our booze cruises, but just in general when you're out fishing, effing around on the water, losing valuables over the side of the boat. Got a couple of text messages. One individual said we were grilling steaks on the boat while fishing. A buddy of mine got a bite, and that bite pulled his rod and the grill into the water.
I wasn't predicting that last part.
Oh, that would have been awesome to see.
Goofy things can happen out there on the water. Some advice from a listener tonight who knows a thing or two about the St. Croix. That's the body of water, by God, Ashley, that we're going to be going up and down tonight. The St. Croix. He says if you drop something over the side of the boat near the bridges, just let it go. The sturgeon at the bottom of the river are the size of cars. Yeah, they'll swallow you as soon as look at you. With that big old sucker they got hanging, they'll inhale you.
God, such an ugly fish.
Yes, I had a pug once.
Not no more.
Yeah, right.
Is that why you don't take Gertie on the boat?
I don't want the sturgeon to swallow her whole. Oh, it's going to be nothing but laughs tonight. Okay, let's get around to this here stupid news. Here's a guy that could use a chin check. You ever heard that term before?
No, but I like it.
Little punch to the yap, a chin check. One night we were drinking at Steve-O's bar in, what is that, Robbinsdale? Some dude walked up to us, 5, 6 of us in a circle. Some older guy walked in and he says, "This looks like a group of guys that could use a chin check." And he walked around the circle of us and gave us all little light jabs in the chin, checking to see how tough we were.
That's so adorable.
Thank you, sir.
These boys look like they could use a chin check.
You know what FBO Holland Jesus lost one time?
In the lake?
Lost, he doesn't say lake specifically, but it's some body of water.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
His backdoor virginity.
He didn't say backdoor specifically, but he said virginity.
Oh, well, that's close enough. Give me credit for that one.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Because he didn't specify which door, like Josh said.
No.
And I'm too polite to ask.
Right.
Although I'm very curious at this point.
If you want to tell us, please do.
Hey, Cubby, tell me something. Did they cover this in our last harassment training video? Oh, I love those videos. They're so much fun.
I actually kind of like them now. The acting is superb at this point. they've really put in, they got the A-listers in there. Where sometimes you'll go, I recognize that guy. He played like a bit part on The Office or something like that. They're kind of entertaining at this point. I mean, the subject matter is a little rough at times.
Of course.
But, I mean, the acting is pretty good.
It's all right. It's all right.
Do you like them enough for me to give you my login so you can do it twice?
That last one was a marathon.
It was. Oh, boy.
I mean, that's like you could binge watch Ozark Season 3, and we're still training on this deal.
Ashley, come over here real quick. Look at the size of this sturgeon that a guy caught. Can you get up?
Yeah.
Look at the size of this sturgeon that one of our listeners caught here.
Holy cow.
Listener sent me a picture of the sturgeon that he caught in Is there a pug in there?
That's impressive. Nice catch, dude.
All right, we got an update on the virginity backdoor, he says. It was backdoor that
I told you.
he lost right there on the water.
Good for him.
We're like a lot of companies. We have to take these harassment training sessions. And there's videos, and they play out terrible behaviors in the office, and then you have to answer a series of questions. Was this okay when Donnie, touched Joey on the ass as they were walking into the office on pizza day? No. The answer is no. It's not okay for Donnie to touch Joey on the ass.
It's always no.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. When they ask, it's no. Things are different nowadays, though, because when we first started having these, 20-some years ago, that was the most dirty day at the office. And those were like in person. They'd have people come in and talk like a class, where now, it's online. And everyone's calling each other sweet teas and, patting butts and just horrible things the entire day. It inspired it more than pushed it away.
It reminded me of junior high.
Oh, that's exactly how it was.
When they started teaching us sex ed in junior high, at least that's when we took sex ed, you'd walk around the hallways making all kinds of sex jokes, because everyone's kind of nervous and uncomfortable and excited and turned on a little bit. Same vibe in here, like Josh said, 20 years ago when we would take live sexual harassment training in a room with a live human being telling us what we can and can't get away with. Yeah, you'd walk down the hall and everyone's like, "What's going on, sweet cheeks?"
That's wild. I can't imagine doing that as an adult.
How's your penis over there?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Even when I take the sexual harassment training, on my laptop at home, I start to harass my fiance. It's fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes that training makes you a better sexual harasser. It backfires. I've really improved.
Did we cover this in our last harassment training video? I don't think so, but someone else can maybe tell me. A cop in England by the name of, he goes by the name of Ford. He might lose his job after he asked a female coworker to pull his finger. For Christ's sake.
He's playing the hits, going back to the classics.
Your coworkers aren't your 6-year-old kid. They're your coworkers, you effing moron.
Oh, yeah, I got a couple uncles that got me on that a couple of times.
Oh, God, it was so great.
I just wondered, the body's a mystery. How does that work?
We never played the pull my finger game at my house. My dad had a separate couple of comedy bits. He would just let it ride. And then he'd say, "Mouse on a motor scooter." Or, "Goddamn dog." That was his routine.
And didn't grow up with either of those kind of things.
What? Even with all your brothers?
Nope. Honestly, maybe that's
shocking.
why I find that kind of stuff so disgusting, is because, my dad never did the pull my finger trick. My brothers never were like that.
Nah, the pull my finger thing, that was for the amateurs.
You've got older brothers. I'm surprised they didn't, hold you down and do it. That's shocking to me. All right, I'm sorry to break in here, but I'm going to give you updates as they come in on the gentleman who first told us he lost his virginity on a boat. Then he confirmed it was backdoor. Now I've learned it was with 4 people.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
This is quite the story it's becoming.
Wow. So dude is a cop in England, walks up to a female coworker one day and asks her to pull his finger. Here's the whole schmear, and it gets worse. She, of course, this female coworker, she was a kid once, so she knew the setup. And, of course, she said, no, I'm not pulling your effing finger. And she told stupid ass to take a walk. Ford, again, is the name of this cop. He started to walk away, but then he spun around, stood up on his tippy toes, and from less than 6 inches away, he farted in her face.
That's terrible.
For effect, did he pull his own finger?
No, he did not. Spins around, gets up on his tippy toes, farted directly in her face, and then he laughed. And like I've said before, it's that if that was me, you better get 5 or 6 people, because that's how many it's going to take to get me to stop from driving my car keys into the eye sockets of that person.
I mean, you have to have a relationship where that's just kind of what you do, buddies or whatever. You can't spring that on somebody, out of nowhere.
No.
What a freak.
The giant 8-year-old cop, puke bag, is now dealing with a disciplinary review board to decide if he should be fired or not. Hell, that should have been decided on the spot.
Should be eye for an eye, too.
Oh.
Pink eye for pink eye.
There you go.
This incident happened 4 years ago. And the disciplinary hearing thing still hasn't been resolved. And the joke going around is, wow, talk about a fart that lingers.
Nice.
Not funny. It's repulsive. It's disrespectful. Fire
On
that
my
effing...
finger.
What was that?
On my finger.
They need to fire that prick. And make him do time, I think. I think you should do time for that.
Yeah, go pull that fart in the face in prison move. I don't think that's going to go over too well in the clinker.
I'm saying 6 months in prison.
At least.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. This here next setup is probably going to piss me off, too. And make me a little bit sick. What I have here for you is one of those flight attendants. And she's talking about how the pilots are encouraged to fart all over each other.
I asked someone dating a pilot if she could ask him for me and let me know if this is true, and I forgot to follow up. So I haven't heard back. But so if she's listening, let me know what he said.
The flight attendant is called Barbara, and she says that pilots drop ass while sitting just inches apart from each other up there in the cockpit. They do this in the name of safety. Barbara uses an interesting word here. She says that pilots are, quote, prohibited from holding in farts because that can give a player gut rot, a bad tummy, and that might distract them from doing their job, which is an important one, no doubt, steering one of those airplanes from town to town. You follow what she's saying there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, Barbara went on to say or ask, did you know pilots eat different foods? Well, of course I do. I've seen Airplane about 400 times. For Christ's sake, both the pilots, Captain Clarence Over and the co-pilot, Roger Murdoch, along with the navigator, Victor, his name was Victor, all three of them got food poisoning from eating the fish dinner in the movie Airplane. If I remember right, Josh, the choice on the flight was steak or fish, and Dr. Rumack, he had the lasagna.
I wonder how many pilots make that joke about the fish. You have to, right? If I was a pilot, I'd want to make that joke.
If they're around our age, I'm sure they're doing a lot of airplane routines. If they're a little younger, maybe not. But yeah, I've heard of that. The pilots never eat the same meal to avoid a disaster like we saw on Airplane. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, Ted Stryker saved the day. I remember when Ted Stryker said, I flew single-engine fighters in the Air Force, but this plane has 4 engines. It's entirely different kind of flying altogether.
It's entirely different kind of flying.
Thank you. Come on, let's do it right this time. I flew single-engine fighters in the Air Force, but this plane has 4 engines. It's an entirely different kind of flying altogether.
It's an entirely different kind of flying. Only you and I did it.
All right, you guys.
I was looking around and everybody looked confused.
Yeah, never seen it.
Oh, you've never seen Airplane?
No.
All right, this gal doesn't want to leave us alone on the topic yet, so she's closing out that topic. I believe. Let me see. Oh, no. We're still on the farting. We're still talking farts here.
Oh, wonderful.
Again, pilots are prohibited, she says, from holding in their gas because it could give one of them a stomach ache that might distract them from doing their job. They always eat different meals. That gas in your tummy, she says, is more uncomfortable at 30,000 feet than right here on the surface of planet Earth. She says something about atmospheric pressure or something. That's why, she says, it's always recommended that pilots, if they have to, dump air biscuits on each other.
Oh, man.
The pain, the discomfort is even worse at 30,000 feet than it is walking around on the surface of our planet. And then, before she was done, this Barbara lady went ahead and said that pilots have the power to officiate marriages.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's really neat.
Even if the pilots aren't priests, they can officiate marriages on board, she said. See, I don't know if that's true. This is just what Barbara is saying.
It's kind of like, I can't even think of the word. They drive boats. They're like the captain, yes.
They've got captains on planes.
I've heard of that. I've heard of boat captains having some form of power to officiate a marriage. I also don't know if that's really true.
Oh, I should get married today.
You could, I suppose. Ask the guy. Ask our guy. He's been the same captain for years. A curly-haired guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I mean, what a gig. Ask him when you see him today if he has that power to. Anyway, this is the twist here. Barbara, the flight attendant, said, airplane pilots have the power to officiate marriages, but only, quote, in an emergency. So what, the plane is going down, there's a couple on board that would rather die married than just dating?
You know, if I was the groom, I would say, hey, how about you fly the plane? Don't worry about marrying us. I'd like to pilot up in the cockpit.
Right.
Do your best to land this thing.
Yeah. The pilot has to run out of the cockpit real quick and pronounce the two of them man plus wife. I'm not sure I'm following that. Here's what Barbara says. Maybe she explains it here. Okay, oh yeah. She says, if the life of one half of a couple is at stake, okay? If one of the passengers is experiencing cardiac arrest and as their last wish wants to get married, the pilot can come out and pronounce them man and wife.
It's a very specific situation.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard all day. Who the hell in their right mind on death's door is going to say, quick, get us married?
F the CPR, bring in the nuptials.
Right, I do. And then the
I need that piece of paper. That's, I guess, I don't know, do you get certain, like, different privileges afterwards? Like, are you, because I know that, like, when it comes to if you're not married and your significant other ends up in the hospital, you technically can't make decisions because you're not legally married. Is it something along those lines after somebody dies? I don't.
So you're asking why would someone get married before death?
Yeah, like is it necessary for anything that happens after death?
I'm sure there's some technicalities in there that would benefit your widow or widower.
But I don't think there's going to be public record of that wedding when the plane smashes into a mountain 2 minutes later.
Do you get to consummate the wedding?
Yes.
The marriage, that is, right afterwards?
Oh, God, as quick as you can get it done, yeah.
It's an emergency
I have no idea, Ashley, but like Dana said, if everyone's dead, what the hell's the difference? I don't know. I don't think...
unless they've got like a wicked insurance plan or something like that.
Oh, yeah, all right.
But
tax write-off.
Don't let it bother you because I don't think this is legitimate. I don't think that a pilot who says, I pronounce you man and wife, I don't think that goes into the record books as legal. I really don't think so.
All right, so I just heard back from my daughter. She's dating a pilot. And said, she asked him, hey, is this true? And he said, that lady of the story has no idea what she's talking about.
Yeah. That's kind of what I figured. It sounded like nonsense altogether.
Yeah.
It sounded like nonsense.
It sounded like nonsense.
You missed it. We'll practice that airplane bit. Now here's more of that airplane ride drama. Although this is about as tame as it gets these days, which is good. It's good. It's good. Passengers on a recent United Airlines plane ride to Chicago saw kind of a different looking message on the in-flight video screen when they walked onto the plane to get ready to take the F off. You know that video screen I'm talking about?
Yep.
All the video screens, all of them, said in big bright letters, it said, "Welcome aboard Flight Bite Me 1 to Chicago." Bite me.
That's fun.
I've always wanted to see one of those hijacked signs, like the zombie you had or something like that.
See, this one might make me a little nervous, though, because if you can hack into those little screens on the plane, what else are you going to do when we're up in the sky? That's sketchy.
Quick barrel roll. Yeah, you know what? I never considered that.
Welcome to Flight Bite Me 1.
Could be a disgruntled employee, Ashley.
With service to Chicago. Now, how something like that ended up on all the video screens on that there airplane is a mystery. Some think maybe it was an engineer who was doing some testing of this and that and just made up some funny joke to crack up the staff and all that, and the sumbitch forgot to erase the joke. Now, of course, some people thought it was harmless fun, but others are just a little too fragile for that kind of language.
It's always the others.
One passenger tweeted out a picture of the Bite Me message and said, "This is what the in-seat monitor displayed on today's flight." And then they went with the tired-ass line that butthurt people have been using for the last few years. They said, "Not a good look, United. Not a good look.
Everybody's looking for something for free.
The optics of this are not good."
Oh, shut up. I love United. I always fly them.
But the cool, laid-back, grown-up people jumped in there, too, in the comment section, and they said, if this genuinely makes you mad, you need to take it easy. Maybe try and get laid. Life isn't that serious. Another person said, there's enough doom and gloom these days. We need this kind of thing. It's the small things, man.
Totally agree with that statement.
Wouldn't bother me at all. Hell,
It wasn't like a threatening note or anything like that. It was just kind of funny.
there was nothing threatening
silly.
about it altogether. There was nothing threatening. How many times have we got to practice this?
Well, you looked like you were going to keep speaking. I didn't want to interrupt. Jeez.
We're taking one more crack at this. And if all four of us aren't in, now this loses me here because I've never bought a plane ticket in my life, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. Other folks have been talking about rude messages that airlines have sent them in the past. Here we go. You're on your own, so I hope you can follow this. It says here, these messages came from the PNR code, passenger number record code, that passengers get sent to identify their booking. If you know what that means, then you know where I'm going with that. One passenger said he'd been assigned a PNR code that said needs BJ.
It's pretty good.
PNR numbers are automatically created by computers, so if you get a code that says something nasty, suck it up. It's nothing personal. Hell, I would say that 9 times out of 10, airlines are never trying to get too personal altogether. Airlines are never trying to get too personal.
Darn it. I messed it up.
Yeah, it was too long.
Yep.
Although I nailed it.
Okay, let's go around the corner to the front door real quick and see what's happening. A lady in West Virginia got arrested for pissing on a sidewalk. Yeah, I suppose that happens. In a town called Point Pleasant, West Virginia, the gal hung it and took a squeege on the sidewalk right out front the hair salon there in town, Josh. Everybody saw her do it, and they weren't happy about it. Broad daylight, by God.
I've seen that like outside of a bar at bar close.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
In an alley or somewhere relatively hidden.
I went on a date in high school with a gal, and we pulled into Pizza Hut. We were both drunk, and she got out the car, took a piss on the sidewalk. Or in the parking lot.
Right there to the Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
at
done that
Pizza.
plenty of times.
Do you want to walk into the Pizza Hut and use the bathroom?
Yeah, we were 20, 30 feet away from the Pizza Hut. No,
Must have been an emergency.
We were very drunk.
Yeah, there's plenty of times where I was very close to a bathroom, but the smart decision was to pee not in the bathroom.
Oh, it might get worse for you. I'll tell you what. Anytime my wife has to pee, it's an emergency.
Yeah, it's already an emergency. I have to pee right now.
We moved our garage closer to the bathroom. We had to. When she pulls into the drive, the first thing she does is runs to the bathroom every single time.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. I was just thinking about this the other day. I used to be able to show up to work and not have to immediately use the restroom because I just went at home. That was like 20 minutes ago. That's changed. I have to hit the bathroom as soon as I walk in the front door.
You even have to leave in the middle of breaks now sometimes.
I know, especially the shavers. It's so long.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times like, well, I'm out.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, I'm risking getting a UTI at this point. I gotta get up.
Gal took a whiz on a sidewalk, broad daylight in West Virginia. Witnesses, the ones who weren't brand new and were in the corner puking their guts out, witnesses told the cops that this gal by the name of Jolene was milling around for a while, acting like a crackhead, and then she hauled down her dirty pants and underwears and sprayed the sidewalk. One dude said, I got to look at her full-on ass and the other familiar features involved in such an act.
That's a great way to phrase it.
And then he upped and joined the rest of the new people in the corner puking their...
She looked like an Oompa Loompa. So I don't know if it was just a photo or what, but she was as orange as they... I forget. Ashley, did I send this to you to post?
No.
She uses a lot of that orange foundation.
She must. Or it was just a really bad picture.
Indecent exposure and being a public nuisance. Those are the charges. Okay.
Public nuisance. I love that charge.
It's a damn shame that Chris Farley checked out so damn young. Crazy bastard. He went down in the year of 1997. He'd be about 60 years old had he kept going.
Wow.
One of the most popular movies that he ever made is 30 years old already, and that's Tommy F. Me Runnin' Boy.
Oh, I used to watch that every day on VHS after school.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yep.
I could watch it anytime it's on for sure.
I've watched it once or twice myself all the way through. And even after all these years, if that movie shows up on my television, I'll still let it ride for at least a little while.
I mean, Chris Farley and David Spade, they were so good together. Those guys were perfect together.
By God, the movie Tommy Boy is getting its own celebration in a town called Sandusky, Ohio, where the movie was set. There is a real Sandusky, Ohio, in case you didn't think so. They're calling it Tommy Boy Fest. It's happening August 7th through the damn 9th. Tommy Boy Fest. They're celebrating 30 years of the movie in the town where it was set. Obviously, Chris Farley can't be there. David Spade isn't booked yet. The director of the film, Peter Segal, will be there, whoever he is, along with the actual car from the movie. The car took a terrible beating.
Sure did.
Man, no kidding.
During Tommy and Richard's road trip around the Midwest selling oil filters or whatever.
Brake pads.
Brake pads. There'll be all kinds of this and that going on during Tommy Boy Fest. There's going to be a Chris Farley lookalike contest. Hell, a dude at my neighborhood bar might have a shot at the top prize there. Hey, Paul, if you're listening, you got my number. Send me a picture of yourself. Or if anyone knows who I'm talking about, Paul, send me a picture of Paul. I want to prove it to these sumbitches that I think Paul could win that Chris Farley lookalike contest. The mannerisms, everything. The body language, it's all there. If next time you guys come to the Legion, if he's there, I'll point him out, and you're going to say, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I got to see this guy.
Here's the event that sounds fun. I'm sure it'll be gross. It's nothing that I would volunteer for. They're calling it, Josh, the Tommy Want Wingy Throwdown.
I was actually going to ask you guys if you ever look at wings and don't think of that line immediately.
Yeah, you can't help it.
Yeah, anytime there's wings around, I always think Tommy Want Wingy.
Hang on to something when the Tommy Want Wingy showdown kicks in. But the scary thing is, Josh, this crossed my mind. If someone starts choking on Wingy during that contest and they start violently tossing themselves all over the stage in a panic, most of the crowd is going to think they're just imitating Chris Farley's comedy style, and they'll die while the crowd laughs hysterically.
Probably. I would assume it was part of the bit.
The other day, I was cruising around YouTube, and I saw an old Saturday Night Live bit starring Chris Farley, and his name was Mike Myers. The Japanese game show, anyone know what I'm talking about, where Chris Farley is a dumbass from Wisconsin who unknowingly finds himself live on television on a Japanese game show?
I haven't seen that one.
It's F me running. Very funny. Not a good ending for Chris Farley's character. But if you have the time, check that one out. Tommy Want Wingy, the Tommy Boy Fest. I bet that ought to be a hell of a lot of fun.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Got it with the slider. But 3 runs. Unhappy hitter Dane Myers. Marlins back ahead.
Bush League, he called it.
I love that. Also, yeah, what a little bitch.
You're right.
Dude struck out or something for the Miami Marlins. And when he walked away from the plate, he broke his bat over his knee through his helmet.
Reminds me of watching my nephew play sports.
Had a little meltdown.
Yeah, he was kind of a baby there, wasn't he?
And the announcer called it Bush League. Bush. Dude.
I love the long pause, too, though.
Yeah, that makes it even better.
That's what's so funny about it.
Oh, well, now the Twins have won a couple in a row. They head off to Detroit to take on the best club in all of baseball. But they've won a couple in a row. Beat the Mariners yesterday 10-1. We've already received one text saying, hey, Cubby called it. This is the beginning of a big run. I hope that's true, Cubby.
Well, it's more optimism than a call, but yeah, hopefully. You got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. And tonight they start a series in Detroit. There's more Timberwolves stuff to tell you here in a half hour when Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder join us. Day 2 of the draft yesterday. They traded this and that. Nothing significant, really. The Pigs have been making some deals. But I wanted to share a text message with you before we got going again. We had a terrible story in our Stupid News report about a guy, a cop actually. He's at work. This was in England, where they're always a problem over there. An English cop walks up to his female coworker and says, pull my finger. She won't do it because she's
not 3.
She's not stupid. Yeah.
Little self-respect.
Not 3 years old. The dude still went ahead and farted in her face. And now they're trying to figure out whether this guy should lose his job or not. I think it's an easy answer, yes. I did receive one text message from a listener who said, boy, you're really showing your age. 10 years ago, you would have done something like that, but now you're all mellowed out. Are you out of your effing mind?
What? Why?
I never, ever would do that to somebody. I don't care what. Never in my life have I ever thought about doing that to somebody. When I was 5, 10, 15, 25, I don't know. You must, maybe you're mistaken. You think I'm somebody else.
That makes you crazy, and now you're all mellowed out.
I would very likely kill a man for doing something like that. And someone's trying to tell me, oh, well, you're just getting old. That's something you would have done 10 years ago. You're out of your friggin' skull, or you think I'm somebody different. But here's the text I really wanted to share with you. It's on the subject of farts. One of our listeners texted in to simply tell me.
That was nice of them to share that.
This listener said, when we were kids, we used to say, attention, everyone, freeze, da-da-da, and then we'd fart.
That's a fun game.
Yeah.
It's kind of adorable, I guess.
That's what he said.
Little kids.
Josh's news report's coming up next.
93X
Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Expert entrepreneur Ed Milet is on a mission to max out your life.
We're throwing open the metaphorical closet doors of our lives. We're going to be cleaning out the closet. What no longer fits? Audit some of your relationships. How about auditing your emotions? Maybe it's your career you need to look at. Get your life together for this season.
The Ed Milet Show.
It's time for a little cleaning of the soul. Let's get a little ruthless, a little refreshing, and a little real. God bless you, everyone.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
She spotted a man out of the crowd and she beelined to him. She very, very gently took her paw and started pawing his leg. His wife came up and she said, "Oh my goodness, either my husband is having a seizure or he's getting ready to have a seizure."
And now she's dead. I'm sorry. That was the beginning of the wrong story. This is a happy story.
Oh my gosh.
About a shelter dog who stole the show at a Virginia adoption event this month when she alerted a complete stranger he was about to have a seizure. Sienna, a 3-year-old lab and pit bull mix with zero formal seizure detection training, was just making the rounds at a church yard sale June 7th when she suddenly pulled a volunteer from Friends in Campbell County Animal Control straight toward a very tall man, which is not normal for her, the volunteer said. That man was Josh Davis, height 6'9", familiarity with Sienna, 0. But that didn't stop her. She walked right up to him and gently placed a paw on his leg. That's when his wife noticed he didn't look quite right. Turns out he forgot his seizure medication that morning. Thanks to Sienna's unexpected intervention, Josh headed home to rest. If he hadn't calmed down, he was very likely to have had a full-on convulsion seizure, his wife, Kristen, said. Sienna went home with a woman who applied before the event, so before this even happened, and it just so happens, coincidentally, her son has epilepsy.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That is such a good, feel-good story.
Isn't that something?
A 34-year-old Colorado man was arrested for trying to kidnap an 8-year-old girl from a grocery store twice in front of her grandmother. And he got his ass beat.
Twice.
Bradley Wilson was taken into custody Saturday after several witnesses saw him try and take the girl at a Safeway in Littleton. Police said Wilson approached the pair in the produce section, put his hands on the girl's shoulders, and bizarrely asked, "May I borrow your child?" Before trying to lead the girl out of the store. Grandma, of course, wasn't having it. She shouted, causing a commotion, and the quick-thinking kid managed to break free. Wilson left the store, only to return a short time later for another try. This time, staff stepped in, giving chase and sending him scampering. Thankfully, police said neither the girl nor the grandmother were harmed. Cops caught up with the douchebag and arrested him without further incident. Mind if I borrow your kid? Back when I used to ride motorcycles.
Sure.
This was late at night. I was working an overnight shift, and a group of kids pull up next. My kid's early 20s, so about my age at the time. Then one guy got out, and he was holding a knife. He's like, "Hey, man, let me borrow your bike." He wanted to borrow it. Man, so maybe that's a thing.
What did you say?
Yeah, what did you do?
I just hit the throttle and took off.
No, I'm surprised you didn't let them borrow it.
All right, but just can you bring it back? Because
Yeah.
I'd like to get home at some point.
Put the knife away. Maybe if I could ride in the back and you drop me off at home.
Florida. Come for the sunshine. Stay because someone's grandma has you in a headlock. A 77-year-old little old lady was arrested last week after police said she grabbed a kid by the collar in an attempt to make him read a sign. The 14-year-old was at the apartment complex, when Cynthia Assel approached.
Assel.
She started yelling, asking which complex he belonged to, insisting he didn't belong there, which was a total Assel move. An arrest report said Assel grabbed the collar of the boy's T-shirt and pulled him toward a sign displaying the complex's rules. She later told investigators the teen was trespassing, so she grabbed his collar to make him read that sign because he wouldn't listen to her. She said he didn't belong here. Police said he did because he lives there. So now the aging Assel has been collared and arrested for assaulting that teen.
Who the hell does she think she is?
I don't know. It's kind of an old lady thing, right, to grab you by the collar. Come over here, kid, read this sign.
Try to teach him a lesson.
Oh, no, you do live here. Wow, this is embarrassing. Ohio police are searching for a man accused of stealing over $1,100 in sporting goods from Dick's in Beaver Creek.
That is so on the nose.
In the wake of the theft, Dick's is now considering extra protection.
Derp.
Don't derp me. Southern California burger joint In-N-Out isn't laughing at a YouTuber's prank video filmed at several of its restaurants. Last week, In-N-Out filed a lawsuit against 24-year-old Brian Arnett, who posed as an employee, took orders from unsuspecting customers, and made lewd comments, all while sporting an In-N-Out branded gear. The pranks were filmed on Easter Sunday, with the restaurant being closed. He visited multiple In-N-Out locations in Southern California wearing a fake uniform bearing In-N-Out trademarks, the lawsuit read. He made lewd, derogatory, and profane remarks, like claiming In-N-Out had cockroaches and condoms in its food, and employees put their feet in lettuce. In one troubling moment, he asked a customer if they'd like to sleep with his wife while he watches. They called that a cuckold. I'm very familiar at this point.
Oh, is he coming after your crown, Josh?
I don't know what he's doing.
This guy posed as a fast food worker and for all this.
Yeah.
So he could just be
YouTube
inappropriate.
Yeah.
I forgot that already. So he was trying to be funny for social media.
For his channel, yeah.
I was trying to figure that the hell out. Like, wow, okay.
I like watching my wife sleeping with other men. Is that something you'd be interested in, he asked.
I'll be damned.
He posted the videos to his YouTube channel despite warnings from In-N-Out to take him down for trademark infringement and filming customers without consent. After the lawsuit was filed, the main video that I meant to say was switched to private. On Monday, a follow-up video appeared with him commenting on the lawsuit, but that video also was taken down. Wasn't his first prank at In-N-Out. Previous stunts included placing an Employee of the Month plaque with his photo on it on a restaurant wall.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. He also previously had been asked to leave a location and refused. In-N-Out is seeking a lifetime ban. And profits from the video, damages as well. The company called his antics defamatory, insulting, racially insensitive, bizarre, and lewd, and said they didn't come across as jokes.
Yeah, he took this a little too far. He got a little too wrapped up in this.
Is he gonna hit the big time now, Josh? Is this the break he's been looking for?
I don't know. It sounds like it hasn't really been working out for him in certain regards, but maybe maybe it'll turn around.
Un-effing believable.
A 23-year-old man's facing criminal charges after taking an unorthodox, if highly illegal, approach to charging his electric car by driving it through a popular Palm Beach County restaurant. According to authorities, he plowed his vehicle into Harry and the Natives in Hobie Sound in the middle of the night last month, reportedly shoving tables aside as he searched for a charger for his vehicle. Surveillance footage caught the whole thing. They helped deputies track the guy down pretty quickly. The sheriff's office posted the peculiar pit stop on social media, writing, "We appreciate the outstanding teamwork that brought this unusual case to a close, and remind everyone restaurants are for dining, not docking your vehicle." He's now been charged with burglary and attempted theft.
He didn't run anybody over?
No, well, there's nobody in there.
Oh.
He just drove through it to plug his car in.
What the heck?
A 69-year-old Florida man's in hot water after attacking his landlord, then driving an SUV straight into the house. Brian Leach had his upstairs landlord over for a Tuesday night meal. But instead of serving supper, he served up a scuffle, attacking her when she arrived. Just moments later, he jumped into his SUV and slammed into the home, destroying the living room. Deputies took him into custody. His motive has not been released, but the case is being investigated as attempted murder.
Man, you think you're going to get a nice Tuesday night dinner, then you get attacked and run over?
Yeah, that's what happened to him.
That's tough.
One of the dumbest, most ill-conceived, short-sighted, and audacious crimes in Arizona history. That's not the media talking. That's a defense attorney describing their own client. A 63-year-old former city treasurer accused of making off with more than $38 million in taxpayer money. Since pleading guilty to embezzlement and tax evasion 8 months ago in Tucson, she's been scrambling to unload ill-gotten real estate, livestock, and luxury cars, a desperate bid to repay even a sliver of what she stole. Here's what her own defense attorney told the judge.
Ms. Gutfar committed one of the dumbest, ill-conceived, short-sighted, and most audacious crimes in Arizona state history. Her scheme was not well planned. She made no real effort to conceal her actions. Even a cursory review of financial records or publicly available information would have quickly uncovered her crimes.
Her own legal memo doesn't sugarcoat it either. She had no business ever becoming the treasurer in the first place. And again, those are the words of her attorney.
Does he know what his job is?
I think he's trying to get a more lenient sentence, like, hey, this chick's just really dumb. Not necessarily evil, she's just an idiot. Apparently, she believes she was just borrowing a little cash to fund a better life, a little cash, again, in the millions of dollars. She deluded herself into a pipe dream, her attorney said. She thought she could borrow surplus funds to establish successful real estate and cattle businesses and then repay the money with everyone, and her family included, being none the wiser. Meanwhile, local schools and fire districts, which rely on that tax revenue, are taking the hit. Prosecutors say that schools alone lost over $11.2 million and will likely never recover that money.
Yeah, screw the kids, right?
Well, she's got some livestock at this point. What does she care? A 30-year-old man's accused of stabbing a coworker at a California radio station and was apparently planning an extended playlist of violence. Sources say Kevin Leeson started working at Results Radio in Chico sometime in late March, though in true radio fashion, no one can quite figure out what he actually did there. Last Wednesday, things went off the rails sometime before 9 a.m., when radio's the worst, by the way. Officers arrived in minutes, lightning speed compared to the average morning show's commercial break. The station was evacuated except for one poor staffer trapped on the back patio. Meanwhile, the man was still inside at that point, blocking exits and holding the place hostage. After a tense standoff, Leeson, likely a radio engineer, they do have the reputation, surrendered without further incident. Further investigation revealed he had plans to turn the station into a bloodbath with intentions to harm multiple coworkers.
All right, this is not going to help me sleep tonight.
Too close to home?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's been times where we thought, oh no, this person's going to snap.
More than once, we've suspected.
This week in theaters, Brad Pitt and Javier Bardem hit the track in F1.
What is this best movie ever made nonsense I'm hearing from one source to another, Josh?
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard anything bad. I know people are looking forward to it. I haven't heard those reviews.
Best movie ever made is what I've heard.
In the 90s, Sonny Hayes was Formula One's brightest star until a crash put him on the sidelines. Now, 3 decades later, he's back to mentor the next big thing.
The only question here is, why did Sonny Hayes come back to F1?
I think it's really wonderful that Apex are giving second chances to the elderly.
It's all right. You're just worried I'm quicker than you.
It's kind of like
Formula what now?
Formula Un. It's kind of the similar plot to Stick on Apple. Also, Apple. This is an Apple movie, and this is in theaters. And Stick on Apple TV Plus is very similar, except with golf.
And I watched Stick last night, and there's a trailer for F1 right before it.
Oh yeah, they play the heck out of that.
They sure do.
Apple TV Plus.
I love that show.
I watched the Poop Cruise last night.
Somebody texted in and said it was mid. What'd you think?
I mean, it's all right. It's a funny, fun story. It's not as if I was just rolling around on the floor in unbridled ecstasy, but it was a fun and interesting documentary.
Okay, I was going to ask if it was interesting. Was there anything that you hadn't already heard about it?
Not really, since, you told the story so well years ago when it was a story, and then Dana just told us about it the other day. I mean, it's just an hour-long documentary. I don't think you should, be expecting too much.
Oh, it's only an hour? I could do that.
Oh, a little over an hour, hour 15 maybe. Yeah, it's a fun story. It's disgusting. It's hard to believe.
They don't show any of the stuff, do they?
No, they don't show any floating turds or anything.
Oh, all right. That's why I was kind of staying away from it. I assumed they did.
There's puddles of urine, and you're not going to get sickened or anything. It's an interesting documentary.
And some of the people that are on there were very funny.
Were they passengers or comedians?
Passengers. Like funny in like not like a ha-ha way. There's interesting, and there's a bridal party there or a bachelorette party which just sucks so bad.
Oh, really?
What channel was that on, Dana?
Netflix.
And you know what I found out by watching the Poop Cruise story last night is a Netflix, Josh, there's a Netflix documentary coming out here shortly on the life and times, I can't say this out loud without crying, the life and times of Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
They ran a preview for that?
I want you to get under the covers with me and watch that.
I'd be happy to. We will be rolling around in ecstasy.
Oh, God.
The world's most terrifying toy is back, sort of. 2 years after Megan's AI-fueled rampage, a new threat emerges, Amelia.
Yeah.
She's faster, smarter, and built for combat. To stop her, they must do the unthinkable, reactivate Megan and let the killer dolls collide. Anybody watch the first one?
Yeah, I did. And actually, I was sitting with my fiance watching this preview, and it like really angered him. He was really mad. He's like, why didn't they make sure that she was gone forever? This is so stupid. How did they get into this problem again? It's like, dude, nobody told you have to watch it.
No surprise here. I'm completely in the dark. What is this, a killer robot or something?
It's like a robot doll lady.
She's really creepy looking.
A robot doll lady.
Yeah, like a girl, right?
Yeah, it's like a little kid, maybe like 10 years old, 11 years old.
Kills everyone in town. This is like a well-known thing?
Megan, the first one. I haven't seen it. It looked kind of dumb. But what'd you think, Ashley?
I thought it was pretty good. And
was it?
It really freaked me out. I mean, there was a couple times where I couldn't really watch because she does like a creepy crawl on all fours.
Oh, I don't like that stuff.
I don't like that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Is that when they're like backwards doing it? Yeah, that's scary, too.
Yeah.
A Megan spinoff called Soulmate. You know, Megan has a 3 instead of an E. Soulmate has an 8 instead of an A in Soulmate. That's hitting theaters in January.
That's how they get you with those numbers.
Yeah, well, that's how you know, like, a restaurant's going to be fancy, right? When they just ignore vowels or replace vowels with numbers, you know they're going to be expensive.
Numbers instead of letters. I got to get a look at this.
It's an R-rated movie about a pleasure model for lovemaking. Oh. It's being compared to Fatal Attraction with robots. Soulmate.
They'll just break. You know what they'll do? They'll just break it right off of you and throw it out the car window.
This weekend, streaming side Smoke on Apple TV Plus, starring Taron Egerton, John Leguizamo, and Greg Kinnear. When an arson investigator begrudgingly teams up with a police detective, their race to stop 2 arsonists ignites a twisted game of secrets.
Fire crotch.
Now on Netflix, the 3rd and final season of Squid Game, and making its streaming premiere on Peacock, The Woman in the Yard, a psychological thriller about a woman in a yard.
You can probably skip that if you guys
want did you watch it?
Yeah. There was a woman in the yard.
Even for free, I thought, not free, but I subscribed to Peacock. Even for free, not worth watching.
Well, what the hell is she doing? What is she doing in my yard?
That's what we have to find out.
That's what's frustrating is the whole time I'm just like, dude, just get your shotgun.
If she's not a pleasure robot, I'm not interested. I'll tell you that right now. Get out of my yard.
Next weekend, you can help out a member of the Brotherhood in need of some assistance during a difficult time for their family. Saturday, July 5th is the Ride for Rodgers, a benefit ride supporting Andrew Rodgers, his fiancée Maria, and their 3 children during an incredibly difficult time for them. 100% of the funds raised will go toward hospital bills, rehabilitation, and daily expenses to help them following a bad accident. Kickstands go up at noon at Twin Cities Harley-Davidson, Lakeville. From there, it's a full-throttle tour, Red Fox Tavern, Booney's Bar and Grill, Country Prime Time, and the final stop is at Carboni's in Burnsville. There's some prize drawings, which kick off at 6:30 p.m. Just make sure you're there to win. Free. Donations are welcome, though, and both bikes and cars are invited. For more information, we put it on our website, 93x.com. Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line.
Here we go, Cubby.
One of your last chances at a 4-pack of boarding passes to our booze cruise tonight on the Stillwater Riverboats. Text SHIP, S-H-I-P, SHIP to 651-989-9393. Again, S-H-I-P, SHIP, 651-989-9393. The prize provided by Warner's Dock and Red Wing Shoes. We sure appreciate that.
All hail the Cuck King.
All hail.
Keep listening as we'll bring it up again later this morning as well, and you can visit 93x.com in the meantime for more information. Shout out to Senior Airman Sabatino Johnson, who's coming home on leave next week. As from your friends here at 93X, and your proud dad knows everything about Nothing Jesus. Victory Motorcycle Jesus, send some best wishes to he and his wife. They have some best friends getting married this weekend. Polish Crooked Nose Jesus text in some happy birthday wishes to his daughter Avery, turning 15 on the 2nd. Some more early birthday love, this time for Not a Morning Guy Jesus, turning 23 on the 5th. Happy birthday to Deadhead Jesus, and that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
Foot that ass, foot that ass, foot that ass.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
And the pitch to left center. Rodriguez going back. Rodriguez at the wall. It is gone. And Wallner finds the bullpen in left center and a swing he needed. 420 the other way. Brian Dozier applauding. Mauer's like, I've done that. It is 10-0 here at Target Field as Wallner hits his 7th.
All right. This is it for us, Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. We're gone like our name was Ron next week to celebrate Independence Day. So anything you want to tell us, now's the time to say it.
Don't blow off your finger shooting off fireworks.
Good advice.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Brad.
Yeah, I'll try not to.
It's been done. Folks have blown digits, arms, legs, right off with those fireworks. Randy Shaver, you got anything for us?
Just if you pass out outside, make sure somebody closes your mouth.
What? Sounds like there's a story behind that.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
That's my advice.
No offense, Brad, but Randy took a turn that I don't think anybody expected.
Now my mind's racing of all the bad things that could happen.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Did you fall unconscious back in the 70s and end up swallowing a toad or something?
I did pass out in my front yard. I was a senior in high school. Had weight.
Oh no!
No, it'll come back.
Found me in the yard.
Told you, Randy. Your mic cut out there.
Sorry.
The last thing you said was you fell asleep in high school in your front yard, and then your mic cut out. So start over.
Passed out on my front yard after drinking at a party.
Yeah.
My neighbor next door found me at about 2:30 in the morning. My mouth was open. They helped me get to my back door, and then I ended up making it to my basement, where I promptly threw up after I got to the basement.
What?
My high school drinking experience is not very long, but it is colorful.
Yeah. I love that you're sharing these things with us now. You never would have shared this with us 10 years ago. No way.
And I more than made up for it my freshman year in college. Yeah. I became a champion at all of that. So.
Did your parents bust you, or did your neighbor keep it hush hush?
No, my neighbor never said anything, but my mother found me the next morning covered in puke. So she put 2 and 2 together and figured out. My parents were really good about. My bedroom was in the basement, so you go through the back door. You never had to go through the house.
Right.
You just went the back door and down the stairs.
You were sneaking out a lot then.
I was sneaking, yeah. So, and my parents actually were fairly cool about all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. That's great. That's a great story and great advice. If you pass out, make sure someone's there to close your yap for you.
You're right.
I was envisioning your yap being used as a urinal or something.
I was kind of wondering if that's the way that was going, too.
Hey, Brad Ryder, you don't have to be asleep for that. And you said in college you became kind of known as the guy that would pass smooth out?
Oh, no. I became a champion at holding my liquor.
Oh, you became better at it.
Yeah. So way better.
Experience paid off.
Yeah. Yes.
What a great story.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah, I usually was able to make it into my bed. There were a few times when I was a kid when I checked out. You guys know the story where I became the cheese man and all that.
I never passed out like that.
I wore a mask of cheese the one time. But I was usually pretty good at getting into my bed, and that's where, the lights would go out. One of my pals pulled into his folks' driveway in high school. Shouldn't have been driving. He was drunk off his ass.
Yep.
Pulls into his folks' driveway, and he's got Metallica just blaring, but he passes out anyway. This is like, 1 o'clock in the morning. 6-7 hours later, his folks come out the house to go to church, and he's still completely asleep behind the wheel while Creeping Death by Metallica is playing at 130 decibels. How he was able to stay out that entire time, I guess, is a testament to how much liquor he put down that night. But I love picturing, beautiful summer, sunny day, whatever. Yep. There's our son, unconscious behind the wheel of his car with a Metallica record, just cooking.
Oh, the way my parents would have beat my ass.
I had a buddy in high school. He woke up on the living room couch and was kind of fuzzy at how he got home. And his dad comes into the living room and sees him and goes, "Son, were you out drinking last night?" He goes, No, Dad. I was at so-and-so's house. I drove home and I went to bed. I was really tired. He goes, "Oh, well, the car's still running and the front door's open."
Yeah. Right.
So he's like, "Do you want to tell me what really happened?"
Tell me what really happened. I like that. I like that line. You want to tell me what really happened?
Right.
A lot of parents have had to say that out loud.
Oh, you're so sober and so tired that you left the door open and the car running.
Buddy of mine was supposed to go to work with his dad. They were actually supposed to travel together for work one particular weekend. They were supposed to fly to, I believe, Indianapolis together, my buddy and his dad. My buddy never made it because he went to detox. And so he never shows up at the airport to meet his dad to fly away for this work trip. And his dad goes off all by himself and calls my buddy and says, what the hell's going on? Where the hell were you? You didn't make it on the airplane. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling very well or something like that. And his dad says, let me put it this way. Detox called and they've got your leather jacket. So now do you want to tell me what really happened?
Oh, I hate that.
Now's your chance also, Brad and Randy, to show your loyalty and respect to our one and only cuck king, Josh, before tonight.
I bow down.
You should bow down to the cuck king.
I'm bowing down right now.
Dana agreed earlier to kiss the ring, even though I didn't tell him which ring I would be wearing or where I would be wearing it.
Hey, when you're summoned by the cuck king, you follow orders. That's just a rule.
That's right.
My most loyal subject.
You probably will have quite a few of your subjects bow to you tonight as the cuck king of our Independence Day boat party. Randy or Brad, would you like to ask the cuck king for a favor? The cuck king likes doing favors for his subjects.
Oh gosh, you're putting me on the spot. I don't really have a favor to ask other than just keep things as calm as possible tonight on that boat, so that we don't lose one of our.
If you think of anything else, the cuck king is open throughout this conversation if you want to ask him for a favor. But
Sure.
I was told by a friend, so my responsibilities, I've been told, are to sit there and watch other people have fun.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not allowed to join this fun, and I guess the fun has to bring me pleasure, like other people's fun.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the bit?
That's exactly the role that the cuck king should play.
And this got away from me very quickly. I laughed at a cuck joke, and now I'm the cuck king, and I'm sitting in a cuck chair with a throne, scepter, all this kind of stuff. So a friend of mine, he is going to be the cuck jester. He volunteered yesterday. He has a face-mounted woman-pleasuring device that he will be wearing.
Woman-pleasuring device.
He's got a dildo that straps onto his face?
Yeah, it's called a childo. Should be called a chindo. I don't know why it's not, but it's a childo. He will be wearing that. Which I don't fully know if that's appropriate. Maybe I should ask somebody about, but he's got one and said he'd be willing to bring.
You might want to ask if face-mounted dildos are appropriate for this setting.
At least everyone is 21 plus, so you don't have to worry about scarring any children.
But every cuck king needs a jester.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have somebody in the cuck party. What do you call the rest of it? I'm not sure.
Can I be the village idiot?
Can you be? When do you think this is a new thing? I mean, that's been your role.
Big booze cruise tonight. Big booze cruise tonight.
We'll see you guys there, right?
I'll be in Vegas.
Wow, you're leaving today. I'll be at the cabin.
Yeah, sorry.
After party at Brad's cabin.
Yeah, if there's a request, Josh can drive anybody who's willing out to the cabin at 1 a.m. tonight.
I am sober, Cam.
Wow. Oh, wow.
I could drive out.
You really want us walking into your cabin at 1 o'clock?
Exactly.
What the hell's the matter with you, nuts or something? That dildo idea brings up one of my favorite stories from going to see local professional wrestling, going to First Avenue in the early days of First Wrestling, when there was only like 11 or 12 people there. We had a riot going to all those shows. And one particular night, at intermission, the announcer says, hey, folks, stick around. There's more matches coming up. But if you want something to do, the folks from Sex World are upstairs, and they've got all their items. Oh, this is, I guess, good timing since
R.I.P.
Right.
Today or tomorrow or something is the final day.
Last day.
When is it, Josh? Do you
I
remember?
think Sunday, maybe?
Sex World's going away the last day.
Brad, do you go there for a closeout deal? Try to stock up, Brad.
Oh, Brad's been banned from there for years.
Half off the Black Tower.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as they announced they were closing, I just went down.
You could use a Sibian up at that cabin, I'd imagine.
Oh, the Sibian. That'll rattle you right out of your brain.
I've heard things.
Sibian. So the host of the show, what do they call it in the business? The announcer is what they call him. The announcer says, if you need something to do during intermission, the folks from Sex World are upstairs, and they've got things you can buy and things you can ask them about. And they did. They had a big table full of toys and everything, and you could go upstairs and say, hey, what's going on, Sex World? So that was kind of fun. Intermission ends, and the very first match begins. And the two guys involved in the first match after intermission aren't terribly skilled. Not a lot of excitement in the room for the first few minutes of this match. It's dead quiet, and someone in the crowd says, I thought I had to go upstairs to see the dildos.
That's a good line.
That's a great line.
Boat party tonight with the Cuck King. Bye, Dan. Before we break this broadcast up at 9 a.m., we've got another shot for listeners to board the boat with us. We got to get a few more suckers into the mix before we're off the air today. So, the Twins have now won a couple games in a row, and they won quite handily yesterday over the Seattle Mariners. 10-1. Let me give you the rundown here. Trevor Larnach homered. Oh, by the way, the audio, Josh. What, Brian Dozier was at the game yesterday?
I guess so, yeah.
And Mauer.
Oh.
Yeah, they mentioned Mauer as well.
In Josh's audio, I heard him say Brian Dozier was applauding while someone hit a home run. Cool. Anyone know why Brian Dozier was in town? We were just talking about him a couple days ago.
No idea.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it.
Okay.
Outside of the reference there.
Larnach homered, knocked in 3 runs. Simeon Woods Richardson looked pretty good. Scoreless, 5 innings. Brooks Lee led off an 8-run 6th inning with a yard sale.
Yep.
And then you had Buxton and Castro, Correa, Wallner all getting involved. So that 8-run 6th inning was the highest scoring inning for the Twins in a couple of years. First time they've won back-to-back ball games in damn near a month. So not bad, boys.
Yeah. Against the Seattle team, that's pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, this is not like beating the White Sox. So.
Well, now's a good time to start playing a little bit better because you've got to go to Detroit this weekend.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tigers are threatening to just blow this thing wide open. They're 20
Well, they already
games over.
have. They're 20 games over 500.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still June, and you're 11 games back. It's not like you're, 30 games back.
Yeah.
So a lot of things can happen in the second half of the season, but if the Tigers keep playing the way they're playing right now, they're the only team with a run differential that's in the positive numbers in this division. Everybody else has scored less than their opponents during the course of the year. And, the Twins are going to play on Sunday Night Baseball this week. This will be their first time in a long time. They play Detroit on Sunday Night Baseball.
Love that.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Best team in baseball right now, the Detroit Tigers.
They'll go up against my boyfriend, Tariq Skubal.
Tariq Skubal pitches when?
Sunday night on Sunday Night Baseball.
Okay.
No, that might be part of the reason they're on.
That's right.
3-game series in Detroit. Somebody texted in and said that Trevor Plouffe mentioned during last night's broadcast that Dozier was in town just to visit him.
Oh, nice.
Cute.
That's cute, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
If those two guys were promiscuous, imagine the damage they could do in an hour and a half.
Be no survivors.
Yeah. They could do more damage in an hour and a half than Dana, you and I could do in a decade.
Right.
Royce Lewis is going to begin playing for the Saints tonight, is what I heard.
Okay.
Going way quicker than we thought it would.
Yep, ahead of schedule.
All right. Well, that's just wonderful. Wonderful. Clayton Kershaw, again with the Clayton Kershaw. We talked about him a couple days ago. He, what did he put together yesterday? 5 strikeouts.
Yeah.
In 6 innings against the Colorado Rockies. So now he is only 3 strikeouts short of 3,000. He would be the 3rd active pitcher to reach 3,000 strikeouts. Who are the others? Go!
Verlander?
Justin Verlander is one of them.
Scherzer?
Max Scherzer is the other.
Yeah. Scherzer just came back from injury, so he's back pitching right now. I think Verlander just came back as well.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping both of them would stay away, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah.
They're great pitchers, but I've had enough of Scherzer and Verlander. Kershaw, 3 strikeouts away, 18 years in the bigs. When he gets there, he'll be the 20th major leaguer to reach that milestone.
Yeah.
I wish I would have looked up the others. I'm going to try to look up the others. His next start, I don't know. I don't know if he'll get there. His next start is at home against the White Sox.
Oh, he'll get there.
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough White Sox club. That's a tough club.
He'll get there.
Anyone got a problem with Barry Bonds getting a statue?
Nope.
No, I don't have a problem with that.
None of you?
Yeah.
No problem. It's time. Move on.
Okay. Yeah. Good. That's kind of the way I feel about it, too.
Yeah, move on.
Enough time has gone by.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if they just made his head just comically big, like even bigger than normal, like just a giant head in that helmet.
I'd like him to sort of turn into a Godzilla character, with his statue. He's just, you know what I mean? He's just stomping through cities. The steroids have made him. Yeah, I'm cool with it too.
Yeah.
The guy's a douche, but go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm looking at that 3,000, looking at the strikeout list.
I am too now, yes.
Everybody on that list is the active players, obviously not, but everybody other than Clemens and Schilling are in the Hall of Fame.
Clemens because of steroids and Schilling because he's totally out of his mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, it used to be, 500 home runs was the benchmark to get into the Hall of Fame. That was like the number you had to reach to automatically get in. 3,000 strikeouts is basically that same number. You can be less than that for sure. Jim Palmer's 800 strikeouts less than that. You can be less and still get in. But, Kershaw's had a Hall of Fame career.
Oh, no doubt.
And I think Verlander and Scherzer also have had Hall of Fame careers.
Now that I'm looking at the list, I'm surprised that the great majority of these guys pitched during my lifetime. I expected to see a lot more guys from 1921 and whatnot, but I'll dump it on folks in case they want to hear it. It's all. I'm surprised it's guys that I watched almost all of these guys pitch at one time or another. Nolan Ryan, Josh the Big Eunuch.
That's pretty cool.
Randy Johnson. Roger Clemens, Steve Carlton, Burt B. Bly Levin, Tom Seaver, Don Sutton, Gaylord Perry, Walter Johnson. There's one that I never saw. Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Greg Maddux, Phil Niekro, Ferguson Jenkins, Pedro Martinez, Bob Gibson, Schilling, Sabathia, and Smoltz.
Think about this.
Cool.
Two of the 5 top strikeout pitchers in baseball once wore the Twins uniform.
Yeah.
Steve Carlton.
Yeah.
Who many people probably don't remember, but he, for a short period of time.
Yeah, I remember.
And of course, Burt Blyleven, who was here twice.
Yeah.
At 19 years old and then came back to win a World Series.
All right, try this one out. We talked about Barry Bonds getting a statue out front the Giants ballpark. There are currently 5 statues outside the Giants ballpark. Go!
McCovey, Mays.
One of them I just said a minute ago.
Bond.
No,
well, Bobby
Bonds is getting it.
How about Bobby Bonds?
No, one of them's on the 3,000 strikeout list that I just said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You probably remember him better as a Met or a Mariner.
Did Randy Johnson have his career there?
No.
No.
I'll tell you. You got Willie Mays. You got Willie McCovey. The player I'm referencing from the 3,000 strikeout list is Gaylord Perry.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
You know what? I don't think of him as a Giant.
No, like I said, I think my best memories of Gaylord Perry were for the Metropolitans or the Mariners, but he pitched for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
How about Orlando Cepeda?
Orlando Cepeda.
Yes.
And one more.
For the Giants.
I'll give you the initials.
Buster Posey?
No, that's a good guess, though. I'll give you the initials, JM.
Oh, Juan Marichal.
Juan Marichal.
Yeah.
Randy Johnson did end his career with the Giants, by the way.
Oh, did he?
Did.
1 year in 2009.
That'd be kind of a chicken dick move if the Giants gave him a statue for hanging around for 5-6 starts, you know.
We would do that here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
One of the things, Nick, about this strikeout list is that, and one of the reasons probably why most of these guys are guys that you watch growing up, is that the game was different.
Yeah.
These guys would complete games. There was very few times they got pulled for the bullpen. This list will probably stay pretty much the same for a long period of time. I see Charlie Morton's name on here. He's at 900 strikeouts away. There's Chris Sale. Don't know if he'll ever get there. He's less than 500 strikeouts
He's
away.
broken.
But this list is not going to change very much because the pitchers today don't get the opportunity to throw the kind of innings that these guys threw. And that's, the more innings you pitch, the more strikeout opportunity you have.
I used to run around with...
Although in today's game, guys are striking out a lot more.
Yeah, but you're only out there for 4.5 innings to do that to them.
I still think that this list is going to stay pretty much intact for quite a while.
Hell yes, until the day that we die. Yeah. I used to run around with Cubby when we were single. He never struck out. Guy was an ass magnet.
Yeah, right.
Lists. I love lists, and we got a pile of them. Here's another baseball-related list you might enjoy. 10 forgotten big league stars who dominated the 80s, like Madonna and Wham and Duran Duran and Michael Jackson and Journey. Who else dominated the 80s? Bon Jovi.
Well, I'd like to throw Cher in the ring if I could.
Cher was garbage in the 80s.
What about Oprah Winfrey? I know she's not a musician, but...
That's when she gained her steam, wasn't it? The 1980s?
Yep.
Here are big league stars who dominated the 80s. Dave Stieb.
Oh, yeah. Great pitcher, Toronto.
Did you know that sumbitch? I didn't know this. Dave Stieb lost 3 no-hitters with 2 outs.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Willie
in the 9th inning, right?
Well, yeah.
Not just 2 outs into the game.
It wasn't in the 3rd. No. Willie Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Great base stealer.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Wallach.
Yeah, Montreal.
Lance Parrish.
The thing I think about Lance Parrish is he was one of the first guys that talked about and promoted lifting weights as a baseball player.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was a monster of a guy.
He was big for his generation.
Yeah.
Dwight Evans. That's who Guy Eddie picked off at 3rd. Oh, great. Now I'm going to start crying.
No, that was...
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was Darryl
Evans. I got him mistaken.
Dwight Evans played
Dwight Evans for the Red Sox.
Funny how we all remember that.
But I remember Darryl Evans being... Oh, God, it was the most beautiful play of the entire season in 1987. Tony Pena. These are forgotten big league stars who dominated the 80s. Tony Pena, they say he redefined the catching position.
The way he caught the ball, his straddle stance, yes.
You know, Josh, at the beginning, speaking of bands who dominated the 80s, you know the beginning of the video for Jump by Van Halen when David Lee Roth does the split?
The slow motion.
That's how Tony Pena sat behind the friggin' plate.
True.
I don't know how his nuts didn't fall off after a couple of years.
We used to try that when we were kids.
Oh,
how do you get up after you do that?
Well, you got to be. When we were kids, it was easy.
Yeah, it was easier when you're in 4th grade or whatever.
Couldn't even think about doing that now.
Didn't you bust your face doing that once, Nick?
Oh, that was a little different. But back to Josh with the David Lee Roth moves. Anytime I went to a friend's place with a trampoline, I pretended like we were playing Unchained in Oakland in 1978. You're thinking of New Year's Eve 1987 when someone put on Paradise City by Stupid Guns N' Roses, and I try at the the part where the song really kicks in, the fast part at the end. At the what song did I say it was? Paradise City. The fast part that kicks in. I decided to jump down an entire flight of stairs and land, and then air guitar. You see what I'm saying? Perfect timing. That was my gimmick. And I did. I jumped and I cleared the entire stairs, but when I landed, I kneed myself in the mouth.
Oh.
I was spitting up blood the rest of the evening.
So much blood.
Here are the other players from the 80s who dominated, but maybe you forgot about them. Frank White.
Yep, great player, Kansas City.
Brian Downing.
Catcher, Angels.
Chet Lemon.
Great player, Detroit.
Recently passed away.
Yep.
And Greg Gagne.
Oh, Gags, man.
Terrific shortstop.
Smooth fielded.
Best defensive shortstop the Twins have ever had.
Without a doubt.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
And you know what? Kind of an underrated hitter.
Yeah.
There were times when Gagne really came through with some big hits.
Especially in the playoffs.
He was a clutch.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a clutch hitter.
He was a clutch hitter. Yep.
Minnesota Moses has texted in to say that Victoria Paris dominated the 80s. Oh, my God.
I'm assuming that is a pornographer.
Who also has passed.
Rest in peace.
She has passed.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, here we go. She died in 2021.
Victoria Paris. She was one of my favorites when I was a kid.
She looks just kind of like your everyman.
I'm aware of that, yes.
Yeah. That's kind of her thing, huh?
Well, when she got her clothes off, she didn't look like everybody else, I'll tell you that.
Ew.
She did not look like everybody else.
Oh. All right, a couple pictures came up, and you're right.
Yeah. You wouldn't look at her and say, you look like everybody else. You wouldn't.
Oh, I didn't know they made them like that.
You didn't know they could do that.
No.
What movie Stripes? So after taking a big French kid, Juan Berenguer, in the 17th overall pick. Okay, day one of the draft, the Wolves took Juan Berenguer, a big kid, big French kid. What did they do yesterday? They traded this pick to fall further down, and then they picked a kid from, I don't know where he's from.
Okay, first of all, do you have access to the Star Tribune?
No.
Oh, my God. The poor guy, the picture of this guy on the sports page of the Star Tribune. Oh, my God.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
You see, he looks so goofy. I don't know why they chose this picture to show of Rocco Zikarsky.
Rocco Zikarsky.
This is the kid they drafted from Australia. If anybody out there has access to the Star Tribune, oh my gosh, this picture, this guy's face.
I'm trying to look at it.
Is he passing the ball?
He's passing the ball.
Doing.
Yes.
Okay, I see the picture.
Yeah, he looks like he's
oh my God.
It's the only picture they could find of him?
I know. Oh my God.
Or is somebody mad at him? What's going on?
He looks like he's cutting a turd. Okay.
This is the kid that will not be on the roster this year. He will stay over in Australia. He'll play another year over there, and then they'll kind of figure out what his situation is going to be.
That's rude. That's messed up that they did that, dude.
Somebody doesn't like him for some reason.
If that picture could make a sound, he'd be saying,
oh my gosh.
So here's what happened, if you want to know. Sorry, I was all over the place a minute ago. They had the first pick in the second round. They traded away to the Phoenix Suns. They got the number 30. That first pick was the 31st overall. They got the 36th pick from that trade, along with a couple future second rounders. But then they traded that number 36 pick to the LA Lakers for the 45th overall pick, and that's where they took this awkward Australian center, Rocco Zikarsky.
And I think they got some cash in return from the Lakers for the Lakers to move up. So,
like you said, this is a project. He'll play in Australia for another year or two. But this is the part I read about this Rocco Zikarsky, and this is the part that grabbed me. It says here he misses layups and free throws. Well, God, he'll fit right in.
He's NBA ready.
Well, especially with the Timberwolves. Is he also terrible on the fast break? Because if so, he'll fit perfectly with the Timberwolves. I love the Timberwolves, but if I'm going to die of some kind of coronary episode, it's going to be watching those sumbitches miss layups, miss free throws, and completely goat F a fast break.
I love Anderson.
I love Anderson, but now they say the Wolves will turn to free agency. They're looking to maybe get a point guard, possibly Colin Sexton from the Utah Jazz.
I would love that.
He's a very good player.
They have
What are they going to have to give up to get him, though?
Well, the word is DiVincenzo for Sexton.
Oh, my gosh. They wouldn't do that. The Wolves would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Well, that's the.
I'm not sure that I don't think the other team
there
would.
might be a pick or something attached.
Yeah.
Sure, that's the rumor I heard.
The Wolves giving up for that.
The other rumors I heard: Julius Randle will be back. So will Naz Reid. Nickeil Alexander-Walker will not.
Yeah, he's a free agent. They're not going to re-sign.
Which hurts. He's a great player.
Yep. But you know what? He made some good money while playing here. What I mean by that is he will make good money as a free agent because he was a valued player in that rotation.
Yeah. The NHL draft is set for tonight. The Pigs have no picks in round 1. They've got a couple in round 2. Oh, no, they got one in round 2. Whatever. Check it out on television. Yeah. NHL draft. They traded Fred Goudreau to the totally unnecessary Seattle Kraken yesterday. Got themselves a 4th-round draft pick for this year in return. So what does this say now? They got 5 picks in the draft, the Pigs do. They also made a deal with Columbus for some kid I've never heard of, minor league kid. So I don't know. What channel is that on tonight, the NHL?
I couldn't tell you.
NHL Network?
No.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Is there an NHL Network?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
A NASCAR pit crew member. I didn't catch this until just yesterday. This happened over the weekend. NASCAR news travels slow, I guess, which is a pun or something. Yeah, ironic, yeah. A NASCAR pit crew member took a flying tire right to the chest plate.
Oh, boy.
Over the weekend during a pit stop. They were racing at the Pocono racetrack over the weekend. This was a tire changer by the name of J.P. Keeley. He works for a rookie driver named Shane Van Ginsberger. Or something.
Kind of looked like he tried to catch it at first. You know, I'm sure that was just an instant reaction.
Yeah, just to fight it off.
Is this video up on our website?
Yes, it is.
I mean, this kid took a tire right to the breasts. It broke 2 of his ribs and partially collapsed a lung.
That's crazy because, like, after he gets hit, he's in pain, but he does his job.
Does get up.
Yeah, he's a tough bastard, that's for sure.
You know, the pit scene, one of the other cars racing into its pit box knocked into a tire. So like kicking a soccer ball into somebody's chest. This car hits the tire.
Yeah.
Tire flies into this kid's torso. 2 broken ribs and a collapsed lung.
It's all part of a sport that you probably don't think about how you could get hurt in that sport. You mostly think about, well, you always think about the drivers. But there's so many things that happen in a pit stop so fast. It's amazing that more guys don't get hurt.
Well, especially nowadays, they're dressed like astronauts.
Yeah.
30 years ago, the guys were wearing tank tops and blue jeans with a can of Copenhagen in their back and a backwards hat. I mean, how guys didn't get killed in the 60s, 70s, and 80s in the pit crew is what's truly fascinating to me.
Yeah.
What happened was this kid was holding the lug nut gun.
Yeah.
And when the tire hit him,
did you say love gun?
Boom.
That sounds like something Josh would have tonight.
That's what the cuck king should have.
Exactly.
That's what I'll be watching.
Yes.
Somebody write this down, and we'll check back. We'll check back in on this quote in a few years. You got a pen, Dana?
Yeah, I got one right here.
All right, we'll write this down. We'll check back in on this quote in a few years. A quote from Karen Rodgers.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
He said, I don't want the attention. I don't. No, I know. Just hang on. I don't want the attention. I don't want to live a life in the public eye. When this is done, I'm done. You won't see me, and I'm looking forward to that.
Did he say that to a
I'll just be on Pat McAfee's show every day.
Right. What's that?
Yeah, I was going to say, so this he obviously said in private to a friend who betrayed his trust?
Oh, no, Josh, this was on live television.
Want the attention. I know that's a narrative out there. I don't want to live a public life. And that's why it's so strange what's going on right now with my private life, because I don't want to live. I don't want to live a life in the public eye. I'm not going to be in the public eye. When this is done, I'm done, and you won't see me.
Nationally televised audience.
You are such a liar.
It's coming from the same guy that auditioned to host a daily game show a couple of years ago.
How can he actually come out and say something like this? Is he really that delusional and that insane?
I think the answer to that question is most likely. Most likely.
What goes on in other people's heads, man?
I wish Aaron Rodgers would have signed here just for 1 year.
Oh, stop it, Brad.
It's still going to happen. You know he's not going to retire next year.
Stop it. He is going to retire.
That would have been so fun.
He won't make it through the season.
I would have been.
He won't make it through.
I hope not. But Brad's 100% right. That would have been so much effing fun to have that friggin' idiot right here in our town, possibly even ruining ball games for the local ball club. My God.
Josh, he'd have been hopping around Egan.
I would have been skipping to work every day to talk about it. To talk about whatever stupid idea came out of his mouth.
I'm sure it'd be fun.
He'd have been popping into Trail Stop regularly.
It would have been such a nightmare.
Yeah. Run into him at Kitchen and Rail.
Right.
You run into him at a pharmacy and he'd tell you how the medicines you're buying will do nothing for the human body. No. What you need to do is cut a turd on
Meanwhile, if you wanted to catch Kirk Cousins in Egan, you just had to go to Barnes & Noble.
That's so true.
Or Kohl's.
Yeah.
Kohl's, yeah.
Well, I think about another
every Tuesday. Yeah, he spent every Tuesday at Barnes & Noble, word has it.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That is so endearing.
I can't help but admit that this hurts a little bit. One of my favorite NFL clubs, the Cleveland Browns, were named the most boring team in the league.
Yes, I believe that.
By the folks who call themselves USA Today. They ranked all 32 NFL teams from most to least entertaining. And they put my Browns at the very bottom.
I saw that. I thought it might sting you a little bit.
Who was second to last?
I'll tell you. By God, I will.
Can I guess?
Second to last? Yes, go right ahead.
I'm going to say Jacksonville.
They
say Carolina.
They landed somewheres in the middle, Randy.
Really?
Well, what I have here is the top 10 and the bottom 5.
Okay.
And the Minnesota Vikings. 10-1. So these are the most entertaining clubs in the league, according to USA Today. Number 10, the Green Bay Packers. Number 9, Tampa Bay. Number 8, Cincinnati. Number 7, one of my other favorite clubs, the Washington Commodores. I'm happy to see the Commodores.
They are up and coming, boy. Yeah.
6, they're ramming it at number 6. 5, Kansas City Chiefs. 4, Detroit Lions. 3, my favorite ball club, Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Eagles. 2, Buffalo. The number 1, the most entertaining team in the league, according to USA Today, is the Baltimore Ravens. Which kind of surprised me. The Vikings come in at number 13. Here, I'll get into further detail on the Vikings. Here's what they say about the Vikings. Handing over a 14-win team to an unproven and injury-prone quarterback from a college team that blatantly cheated their way to a national championship was quite the move, they say.
Whoa.
Do you have the author's name?
Will the Vikings keep the training wheels on for a little while as Brady Tomlinson, what's his name, the new quarterback?
J.J. McCarthy.
Will the Vikings keep the training wheels on for a little while as J.J. McCarthy acclimates with a high-flying receiving core and a capable offensive line? McCarthy might not be boxed in for too long, and Brian Flores' defense, meanwhile, should remain as vexing and captivating as ever. That's what they said about the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm gonna change my my pick.
All right.
For second to last, the New England Patriots.
You think they're second most boring?
Yes, behind Cleveland.
No,
Cleveland. Really?
They're down there, but they're not in the bottom 5.
Wow.
Should I give you that bottom 5, Ski?
Yeah.
You're a bottom. Number 20. There's 32 teams, you know. 28, Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, yep.
29, New York Jets.
Yeah.
30, New York Giants.
Yeah.
And the second most boring team, according to USA Today, Randy, is the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
And then dead last, the Browns.
I just think New England is just so blah.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you one individual that plays for that team anymore.
We still might not be too far removed from their run, having to be that low. They will be at some point soon.
Vikings always fall somewhere. That's a little bit higher up than...
Well,
we're always somewhere in the middle.
Mid.
Very mid. Yeah, very
Seems
mid.
like every Minnesota team kind of is always in the middle of whatever is good or bad.
Yeah. The Wolves, I guess, have broken that trend a little bit lately.
Yep.
Being up there, top 5 for this and that and this. So there you go. Well, we'll miss you tonight, gentlemen.
Definitely.
Yep. You guys have fun. Cuck King, good luck tonight.
We'll take plenty of pictures.
Please do. Please
don't.
You don't want pictures taken of you as the Cuck King?
Or is it in any way, but certainly not as the Cuck King.
I'm picturing like a red carpet scenario where the flash bulbs are just going off like crazy.
That's perfect.
I picture him standing as you walk across the ramp to get on the boat, where everybody has to kiss the ring as they walk on the boat.
To gain entry.
Yes,
this is perfect.
I wish you were more douchey so you would do something like that, Josh. But I could never see you wanting anyone to do anything like that.
You need to extend your scepter at times and say, halt, to somebody who's trying to cross your... Goodbye, Randy. Goodbye, Brad.
See ya.
We'll be back in a few minutes here on the program.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
On 93X.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
The United States Soccer Federation presents the U.S. Soccer Podcast.
Inside the opening 45 seconds. What a goal! Jack McGlynn with that cannon of a left foot.
Never miss a game.
What a start for the United States. Shot from distance. What a goal!
Never miss a moment.
Exquisite from the San Diegan. Can he finish? Yes, he can. Yeah!
The U.S. Soccer Podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They are in an alternate reality than ours. They are in that rock and roll rock reality.
They surround themselves with these professional dickheads.
And I'm not even really sure if they're aware,
I don't think they're aware of how much they suck.
93X rocks.
Man, where am I here, Cubby? Do I know what I'm doing? What a friggin' scene we got going here today. It's our final. Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Next week, we'll be sleeping in and forgetting all about our broadcast-related responsibilities. Like that terrible actor said in that terrible movie from 20-some years ago, next week, we celebrate our Independence Day. But before we escape tonight, we got to be the gracious hosts of another booze cruise out on the St. Croix. Beers and laughs and something or another to eat and a professional disc jockey. General camaraderie is in store tonight. Rule number 1, don't be a dick, and we'll be just fine. Write the F now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line. Text the word SHIP, S-H-I-P. Text that keyword SHIP to 651-989-9393. And you got a chance, and maybe you got a chance, and maybe you got a chance to drag 3 of your friends onto the friggin' booze cruise tonight. Thank you again Many thank yous to Stillwater Riverboats, Warner's Dock, Red Wing Shoes. We appreciate you trying for the last, month or so to win your way onto the stinking boat. We're going to have a good time and good luck. Keyword again, ship. 651-989-9393. I'm going to throw this away now because that's probably the last.
That's all we can do.
That's all we can do.
Toss it.
It's the only ones they gave us.
Going to be a lot of socializing on the boat, of course. Here's the latest from the social media dorks. You are suddenly legally required to carry a warning label. What does yours say? You're now legally required to carry a warning label. What does yours say? I suppose, Josh, if you don't mind, maybe your warning label, especially in a situation like we're going to be in tonight, your warning label would say, talks until my throat bleeds.
Yeah. You'll want to walk away, but I won't let you. I would go, like, warning, facial expression, not an accurate representation of mood.
Good.
Because I have resting dick face.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to. I don't know how to control the muscles of my face, and you can tell I don't know how to take a picture. I just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Object in pants may be smaller than appears.
Would you put a fragile label in that warning somewhere? Are you fragile?
Not really. I'm empathetic.
Empathetic?
Sometimes I feel guilt for things that I know I'm not guilty of, that's for sure.
Yep.
About adverse to leaving own zip code, do not remove from habitat. Black belt in self-doubt, that kind of thing.
Dude, you are a full-on, like, twice decorated black belt in self-doubt.
Gosh, those are good.
What the hell were you saying off air a few minutes ago?
Oh, yeah, I don't know if that could be an on-air thing, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You do already?
Yeah.
Well, write it down, because I think we might be...
Oh, maybe we're talking about something.
I think we're talking about something different.
Okay.
We'll get back to this. You are a black belt. That should be on... If you're wearing a warning label, black belt and self-doubt should be included there.
You and I share this in common, amongst many other things, but how about warning, annoyingly content, activities and luxuries not required?
That is the damn truth.
Where somebody might be like for my 50th, people are like, oh, you got this big party. And I really I didn't need one. I thought it was going to lunch with family or whatever. That was completely fine.
We should both wear a warning sticker that says, annoyingly easy to please.
To the point where I think people get suspicious.
Okay, Josh, you're writing down. I was going to bring up something you said. Oh, yeah. See, I thought this was cute.
I guess I could. I just don't, I don't want to offend anybody.
I don't want. What? This isn't offensive to them.
You don't think so?
It just more shows how self-conscious and how often self-doubt creeps into your brain.
Okay,
if you don't mind, I think it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
You're meeting someone for coffee in the near future, and Josh said just an hour ago off air, he said, oh, man, the guy just wants to have coffee? Does that mean he doesn't want to spend any real time with me?
Well, and I didn't realize it right away. I was telling Nick I'm very excited about this. I'm looking forward to seeing this person. And he's like, yeah, man, let's get together for coffee. And I didn't think about it until I mentioned to one of my friends. I'm like, I can't wait for this next week, next Wednesday. And he's like, coffee? Since when do you start drinking coffee? I'm like, oh, I don't know. He just kind of picked it. And then I was thinking, oh, no. Maybe he's saying, let's keep this short.
Yes. Why did he say coffee? Because he only wants to spend 10 minutes with me?
Yeah, usually it's like a lunch or in my life.
Right.
But maybe for him, coffee's kind of what you do. And
it's just even the simplest thing. You cannot shake the idea.
It did sneak in. And I thought, oh, no, maybe he doesn't want to go. I should just let him off the hook.
Ashley, you're suddenly legally required to... And folks, feel free, 651-989-9393. If you had to wear a warning label... What does yours say? Ashley, you want to take a crack at this?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe something like, will be unnecessarily angry if hungry.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Boy, my wife could use one of those.
Maybe just like a warning, runs ridiculously hot.
Runs
hot? Do you mean
hot?
body heat or anger?
Body
both.
Heat. Oh, both?
I was thinking of anger, though. I have a really bad short fuse.
Maybe your warning sign also says, normally I wear a smaller pair of pants than this.
Yes. Warning, could throw up at any time.
Yeah. These pants will hopefully not be in my closet in the next handful of months.
Yes, that's perfect.
Dana, warning label?
I'd say something like annoyingly passionate about annoying things and will talk your ear off about them if you let him. Or even if you don't.
Oh, one more, too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
Spits when he talks.
Oh,
is he a spit talker?
I'm kidding. You're not a spit talker. You're not a spit talker. Here's a listener who says his warning label should say, "Will black out if bar open." Piss off at your own peril. Hide your marijuana. One listener says he should have a warning label on his shirt that says, "Hide your marijuana."
Oh, is he going to smoke it?
Is he smoke it up?
Plays with wood, Jesus said his would say cusses too much.
It's all right. I can put up with that. This is nice.
Mine will be counted tonight, for sure.
You will be counting your drinks?
The cuss words.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the big kids, they'll be on the boat tonight, and I don't swear very often, especially around them, and so they like to kind of hang out and count the swear. Every once in a while, I'll hear a 2, 3.
Tell them to mind their damn business.
Oh, I like it.
It's kind of fun, Josh, hanging out with them, like kind of like 5 feet away from you, and they'll just be kind of doing a running commentary, almost like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 about what you're
ripping
doing.
Me?
Yeah. It's very entertaining, I'll be honest. I'm sorry, because I love you, but it is very funny.
Yeah, I'm super pumped that they're coming.
Show your boobs, win a balloon, Jesus. Something nice that he thinks it would be fitting if he wore a label that read, it's not so much of a warning, the label says, drinks well with others.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I could see that on a T-shirt.
I like people that can just slide in and drink with you without any problem.
Caution, face doesn't have a filter. I may keep my thoughts to myself, but my face, she does not.
Oh.
That's fun size Jesus.
I thought of another one for me, especially on the boat, because I'm guilty of getting this conversation started with a lot of people. Warning. We'll talk about her dogs if you mention pets. 4 hours.
You're one of those.
And show pictures.
Don't get me started, man.
Bisexual gamer Jesus said, we'll laugh at inappropriate intervals and comments. Sure, I can understand that one.
I got someone for you tonight, Ashley. The boat goes from 7 to 10. If you want to talk about dogs every single solitary second of that 3 hours, find my brother.
Oh, yes. Really?
He will talk about dogs until his eyes begin to bleed.
It's so fun. What's a better topic?
It's been a while since we've had player of the day. I'm just going to throw this as a possibility. You guys tell me. This person's warning would be caution, choking hazard. You sly SOB.
You bastard.
That's awesome.
P isn't funny. P is P, Jesus. He'd wear a warning label around town, and it would simply say this on it. Don't care. Good for you, P isn't funny. P is P, Jesus.
This is good. Warning, diminishing filter as conversation goes on.
I would say, personally, easily forgets names on my warning label. Easily forgets names, but enjoys visiting. I do. In general, I do enjoy visiting with people. Like I said.
Well, I love it. But the name thing, I don't know why. That is difficult. I think because you're trying to have a conversation with someone, and then, you're thinking about like how you're going to interact, and maybe the name escapes.
Well, I'll tell you why I forget names. Yours is a little more deep and complicated than mine. The reason why I forget names, I'm usually checking them out.
Oh, is that right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I check them out.
How about this one? Warning. Seems like I'm listening, but I'm not listening at all.
Smile and nod. Smile and nod.
Will overshare inappropriately finer details of my entire life story.
Oh, I think I'm an oversharer.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that for sure.
Oversharing, huh? Can you think of an example where either one of you is overshared with someone? Someone you did not know well enough to share those details?
I mean, it certainly happens here.
Oh, well, that's kind of our job to overshare.
I was more thinking here, but
yeah.
I guess, I think of times where I've been talking about my family, and then I go on and then I slowly trail off and like talk about specific terrible things that my brothers are involved in or something, and I'm like, whoa, maybe I didn't need to tell that person that much information.
Warning, this text says, sarcastic a-hole. If you don't want your feelings hurt, steer clear.
Well, there you go. Another listener says, same thing. Yeah, I'll tell you information that you don't want to know. Oh, no. Warning. I often forget to take my medication.
That's ominous.
Well, depending on what the condition is, that could be scary.
That could be a lot of things.
Yeah, if it's allergies, we're going to be okay.
I thought of another one.
Boy, your warning label is going to be quite large.
This should be like the number one. Gets overstimulated easily.
Do you like a cat?
Yeah. There can't be too many noises going on.
Oh.
It's just too much. I get overwhelmed.
How can we tell when you're overwhelmed?
Oh, I can tell when Ashley gets overwhelmed on the boats.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I can see it in her face, and I always grab her. I'm like, hey, Ashley, Josh wants to talk to us.
I get little hot flashes.
Yeah.
I get stressed.
Oh, so this isn't a positive thing.
No, this is not a positive thing.
When you said overstimulated, I pictured like a bouncing, happy child with a smile on his face. But you get overwhelmed on a negative. It's a negative thing, and you... What, panic?
Yeah, like especially at home, say like the TV is maybe two volume clicks too high, the dogs are barking, it's hot in the house, I'll lose my mind. Too much.
Speed Square, I'm like that too in a way, Ashley. Speed Square Jesus said it takes me 30 minutes to tell a 3-minute story.
I love those people though.
You know what?
I'm that person.
I get that way because I don't want to be inaccurate. So, I'll do something, and I know how annoying this is. I'll be like, oh, yeah, so yesterday we got out there probably about 7:30, and like, oh, you know what, maybe it wasn't 7:30, and I'll do that for a second, and it doesn't matter the time. And I realize it afterwards. I just spent like 3 minutes trying to figure out the exact time I got there.
I could work on my editing a little bit. You should see the wife back at the house. I'll be in the middle of a story, and then she'll pretend to fall asleep. What the hell is this?
You know, the ones I like... And we've done this with interviews before where, it's a phone interview and somebody, like a Nikki Sixx, not to pick on one guy, but that's a guy that can continue to talk, where we've come up with more elaborate ways to hang ourselves by pantomiming it.
Yeah, we've
gotten, like, barn beams involved.
Oh, yeah.
I love when you guys do that kind of stuff.
We do the body language of kicking the step ladder out from under your feet.
We've even had mercy killings between the two of us.
We have.
Like, my gosh, this guy's never going to stop.
We're talking about if you had to wear a warning label, what would yours say? We're getting a lot of great text messages here. We can continue this conversation in a few minutes. And then before we go, of course, we'll give you one more heads up on what's going on tonight for the Booze Cruise, what time you got to be there and all that. But we got to take a break. Before we do, here's one more warning label. Warning, can't be within 500 feet of a school.
Whoa. Well, good thing the boat is 21 plus.
Yeah, you're safe.
Thankfully, the city warns us about that type of thing, too, typically, if they live in your neighborhood.
What do you mean? Like, what happened?
Half-assed morning show.
It's not just the swearing. Did one of you fornicate?
Fornicate? Look, I've boned a lot of chicks in my time, sure. But as far as I can recall, I've never fornicated anybody.
93X.
We're certainly getting there now. Just a handful of minutes left here on our final Ultimate F-Off week coming to a close. Not going to be broadcasting next week. Got some time to ourselves. So if you're not joining us on tonight's Booze Cruise, have a wonderful Independence Day. We'll be back once the holiday is over. While we're sitting here, we were talking, if you had to wear a warning label everywhere you went, what would yours say? Had some great answers come in so far. Let me check the text messages now. 651-989-9393. Warning, one listener says. This is the sticker they'd wear around town. Warning, will bum cigarettes.
Everybody knows that person.
All sauce, no swimmers, Jesus said. My wife would slap this sign on me. Warning, cannot get to the point. And she's not wrong, he said.
Get to the friggin' point.
Are you ever going to get to the point?
What's your point? What movie was that? Bunch of guys go to Vegas and kill a hooker.
Oh, very bad things.
That's right.
Oh, I didn't see that.
What's your point? Remember that towards the end of the movie?
Yeah.
Despite the way you just described it, is that a comedy?
Dark comedy.
Dark comedy?
Very dark.
Things escalate very, very quickly in that movie.
I like it a lot. I really do like that movie. Warning from another listener. Warning, duck. I use hand gestures. Oh, man.
I noticed that I do that a lot more than I thought.
You're...
Or is it because there was
No,
one
you
time...
do. You do.
Yeah.
You're not as dramatic as some others, but you do.
Yeah. I just noticed that like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's always the same thing. You do kind of the same exact thing every time.
Oh, I do?
One of my oldest bros, the King.
Change it up?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have met the King. And
Yes.
This is not.
But
you have.
many years
ago,
ago.
the
A long
King,
time
not the cuck King, just a regular King. So dramatic with his hand gestures, and it was great when we were young because he would always end up knocking someone's beer out of their hand.
Oh, of course.
Boom, beers flying everywhere because the King's telling a story.
Reefer Van Jesus said this is more of a warning for his wife. Warning, we'll start telling story, but wife will interrupt and finish it.
That would make me crazy. But yeah, I did get one here. Warning, interrupts often. Warning, hot to the touch.
Oh, hey now.
You know what I'm saying?
Hugh Jorgen Jesus said, warning, premature eject.
I got one similar to that, Josh. Warning, gets easily distracted. Oh, look, a squirrel.
Mouse and Jesus says, warning, if you're reading this, you're too close.
Warning, I will check out your boobs and your butt. That's from Bisexual Gamer Jesus. She's going to check you out.
All right.
It's right there on her shirt.
Well, she's probably cool with making that reciprocal, I'd imagine.
She's got the warning.
Blissfully ignorant Jesus said, warning, I take one pill so I won't hurt myself and another pill so I won't hurt others. I only took one pill today.
Oh! What the hell is this? Caution. Will tug for moms?
What about this from Snow Blowing Off My Car on the Road? Jesus says, warning, eyes roll uncontrollably. Oh, that would hurt.
Ooh, I'd like to hang out with this person. Easily startled. That'd be fun.
That should be Dana's shirt.
Yes.
I've never met anyone, and you're a big guy.
I know.
And you're so jumpy.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you kind of like in your own head a lot, or why are you so jumpy?
I think I'm just in my own head. I'm not paying attention to my surroundings sometimes, and then all of a sudden and also here, Josh, I'm not used to seeing anybody else in the hallways. So the times I do run into you, and you're an intimidating man, so you can see why I would get a little jumpy when you come around the corner in your Adam Sandler basketball shorts and a Diet Mountain Dew.
I drag my feet now, so you can kind of hear it coming, so I don't freak you out.
Thank you. That's so nice of you.
D&D Jesus has 2. 1, angry when tired. 2, always tired.
Oh, sure. Warning, never needs to see photos or hear stories about your kids.
I worry about that, even on the air here. People are like, okay, we get it. Drunk Uncle Firefighter Jesus says, warning, gets unusually aroused by close talkers. Stand back at least 6 inches.
Yeah, get back a little bit. Warning, I'm not afraid to... Get it, Cubby.
Go there.
Not afraid to go there. What do folks... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Pancakes by the Lakes. Jesus says, warning, I have no recall and can't remember the important things we talked about earlier.
It can be tough sometimes.
Especially in a relationship, that can get you in some trouble.
What do some bitches know, Josh? Or that's not how I should put that. What do some bitches need to know about tonight's booze cruise?
6 p.m. is when they start boarding. And if you can get there earlier, even better. 6:30 p.m. is pretty much the cutoff. So make sure you're there. And I know that can be tough with work and everything like that, but if you can make that work, that's kind of what they're requiring. You got to bring an ID. They keep saying valid ID, so hopefully it's valid. 21 plus. So if you have one and you have a guest, they got to be 21. What's free on the boat is the food. You get drinks or drink prices wherever you expect to go.
Right.
Obviously, you know the obvious ones. You're adults, but don't drink and drive. I mean, the cops are there. They're aware of this thing.
There's a lot of them. They post up.
Yeah, they know what's going on. So just it's not worth the risk. If I had a big enough vehicle, I'd drive you home if I had to. But just don't make that mistake. They're out there. And other than that, like Nick said earlier, I guess, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
That's supposed to be a fun thing.
Let's have a friggin' good time tonight on our booze cruise. And again, we can't thank you enough for even being interested in such a thing without our fabulous listening audience. It would just be the four of us looking like a bunch of friggin' jackasses out there.
No, you're right. And like I was saying earlier, I mean, for a lot of us, Stillwater's a bit of a hike, and you're giving up a Friday night, so we really appreciate it. And if you didn't win, we're very sorry. I know it's tough. But
God, I love when he does this.
We are planning on having a fall one. Now, that one costs a little money, but the nice thing is, if you want to go, you can go. So, and, that one's a blast, too. So if you can't make this one, don't worry. You're not really missing out because we'll have one in the fall. It'll be a lot of fun.
And it's a little bit closer to town, too.
True.
Hey, man, I like your style and you got a lot of heart, but I ain't apologizing for Dick. If you didn't win, you didn't win. There's no sweat off my ass.
Josh is actually saying out sympathy cards to everybody who didn't win.
He'll give anyone a ride home, and he wants to apologize to any one of you that didn't get on.
I want it to be a good time. I want everybody to have a blast.
It's going to be just wonderful.
Carpet Jesus text in to let us know there's a bike run to raise money tomorrow for a young man battling cancer. The kickstands are up at noon at Park Place Sports Bar in St. Paul Park tomorrow. Just a little behind-the-scenes info. We're supposed to have a fire drill any second now.
So is that an alarm going to go off?
I don't know. We haven't had one forever. So
we're supposed to have a fire drill in this
right now
in this building.
Right now.
Okay. So if an alarm goes off, that's the fire drill.
Yeah, don't worry. We're safe. Okay, so nothing so far. I don't see any lights flash. Nope, that's your bell.
That's my bell.
Yeah, you're hitting that.
Something's not on time here? Wow.
No. That's your horn. No, that's a guy orgasming. That's Ric Flair. Pack Rat Jesus checked in. A shout out to the guys at Crystal Cabinets busting their butts today. Wishing all Smurfit West Rock employees best of luck as the final day approaches. And happy 24th anniversary to Car 54 Jesus on Monday. Love 45 She Jesus. Are we going to die?
Yeah, I think so.
A real fire?
Yep.
There's no warning. Happy 13th to Addison turning 13 on the 6th. And the smoke show of a wife, Occupational Therapy Jesus, for her birthday on the 2nd. From Bank Examining Jesus, happy 55th to I'm Not Fat, I'm Aerodynamic Jesus, also on the 2nd. Happy 18th birthday to Claire Bear from Dad. Shout out for Hospital Equipment Fixer Jesus, retiring next week after 32 years, keeping United Hospitals, computers, and medical equipment running. Nope, I forgot we had that. Where have you been hiding that?
It's under this Chicago Bears jersey we have in here.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Honestly, if there's a fire, we're all dead.
Yep.
That was from Not the Rams QB Jesus. Happy 50th birthday to Mr. Booby Cooler Jesus on Sunday. As we mentioned, we're off next week, so have a great weekend, a happy 4th of July, a great weekend after that, and we'll see you that following Monday.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me, as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.